And welcome to the Lonely Marks Wrestling Podcast. JPO, you're here just in time to say,
Oh, and we're live. I was saying, hey, brother, I know what you want me to say.
yeah,
Yeah, we're
no, no,
live.
yeah, we're live, yeah, buddy. No, I saw you. I saw you pop in right as we were getting started. Yeah, no, obviously we're going to talk about the big news story of the day. Came as kind of a shock to everybody as the news broke today. I feel bad for Richie because it broke while he was sleeping overseas, and they had to wake up to
Yeah.
all this, as opposed to us kind of getting in real time. But yeah, Lonely
Wait,
Marks
I
Wrestling
sleep in
Podcast.
really late, so it was almost morning for me.
Almost, yeah. I was literally just at work, and then I started seeing like stuff about it, popping up here and there. So while I was on break, but yeah, no, we're gonna get obviously our big news story is Hulk Hogan. We're gonna talk about it. It's kind of a light news week, so that might be one of our kind of main things. We'll hit on some other stuff, and then oddly enough, I swear, JPO and Richie says we spun SummerSlam '89
Oh yeah.
last week, which happens to have Hulk Hogan in the main event with a tie-in to No Holds Barred, his first big starring role in a movie. So just again, another bizarre coincidence that we just happen to be also, reviewing a Hogan heavy show. So, tonight in our lead up to SummerSlam. So we actually get to talk a little bit more about Hogan, actually in the ring, prime Hulkamania. So, but yeah, I'm Austin Pez Howell filling in for Jacob tonight. But Richie joining me. How's it going, Richie?
Yeah, no, not too bad. It's kind of a it's been an interesting week. With all the couple of celebrities here and there, but like it's get going around. And yeah, no, it's always fun to join you, and then it's good to reminisce about the Hulkster and talk about the SummerSlam 1989, which was an interesting watch series.
Yeah, it was an interesting show. We'll talk about it. JPO, thanks for joining us. How's it going, buddy?
Yeah, what's up, everybody? Interesting day in wrestling. So yeah, and whew, we'll get to it.
I know, yeah. Yeah, we'll get into Hulk Hogan in just a second, but we had another death that does have WWE and wrestling
Yeah,
related things.
a Hall of
Ozzy
Famer,
Osbourne.
technically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. I was gonna say, WWE even put out a graphic because he was inducted into the celebrity wing of the Hall of
Yeah.
Fame in
What was
2021.
it? WrestleMania. He did a song at SmackDown. He was a Raw guest host. So that he's up there.
Yeah, no, definitely. You could tell he was a wrestling fan. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, WrestleMania 2, like a guest manager, and yeah, like you said, guest hosting Raw, doing some live, performances on SmackDown and whatnot. Yeah, Ozzy Osbourne. So yeah, if you guys want to touch on that real quick before we get into Hogan, Richie, I know you wanted to touch on that very briefly.
Yeah, I just think is like sort of. I mean, I think people, when people see like like in modern times celebrity involvement, like for example the upcoming Jelly Roll thing, people kind of scoff at it, but celebrity involvement has always been a part of wrestling, and it's actually quite in especially WWE, it's actually helped their kind of transition to like mainstream being and like sort of being like in a way taken more seriously, or getting them out there as like a big time thing. And I think Ozzy was definitely a big part of that. He just had larger than life personality. And I think he was. I always liked it when he was able to come on, even like in that era of guest hosts, which I wasn't like the biggest guest GMs. I wasn't the biggest like fan of, but like when he was on, it was fun. And then just before we went live here, I mean, like Pez was just sort of reminiscing about like it was really funny when Chris Masters was doing that thing. He was jiggling his pecs and Ozzy
It
couldn't.
was like in sync with a song, and Ozzy was just laughing his ass off in the ring. You could tell, just like enjoying himself.
That man needs a Raw. He needs a Raw.
Yeah.
And and then he signed he did a. I'm pretty sure I mean like War Pigs is
It's a War Games theme. Yeah.
It's a War Games theme, which is interesting. It's an anti-war song, but but it is a banger song. But yeah, and he also, I think his one of his solo songs was a theme song for. I want to say Judgment Day back in the like a few years ago. He did sing it on a SmackDown show. I want to stop. That's a good song. I love that song from down to but yeah, no, I think he's had a lot of my personality. Like I mentioned, on my page, I don't watch much of, I'm not a reality TV guy, but I did watch the Osbourne back in the day just for his like kind of personality because he's just like, some of them might be contrived, but he's like he's he's just such a character, and then this is like just so charismatic, and yeah, you just gravitated towards him. So yeah, he'll be missed, man. And yeah, it was. I saw Black Sabbath last time they came here, so I'm glad I didn't miss that. So yeah, man. That was it was very tough to hear, but like it was really cool. I mean, it was probably it was one of those things where it was like I had to check. It was one of the things where I had to check it was real because like obviously he just had like a full on concert where people like obviously his new health was found, but Black Sabbath had their last gig in Birmingham, and like he had all these artists come and like pay tribute, like Rage
How long ago was that gig too? Was that in the last like week?
It was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was close.
Okay,
yeah, it was bizarre.
Yeah,
he just had like a farewell concert, and then he's gone. So it's like. Yeah, that kind of like last hurrah that we didn't know was going to be like a last hurrah. Yeah, I think there's footage of it online. You can see. I'm sure they'll put it out there.
No, I've seen clips, and he had to do it from the chair. You can tell he wanted to get out of the chair multiple times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just interesting. It's not like to this extent, but it did remind me a little bit of that kind of that Ultimate Warrior thing where it's like you have to go. Oh, but wait, I know he was like. He passed away already. Oh, okay, shit. That was I had to do a double take. Like, okay, because it felt really close together to be, but no, but yeah, he'll be missed. He's definitely a legend, and yeah, like I think in terms of, we talk about celebrity inductions about whether they should exist or whether they're supposed to be inducted. I had no issue with Ozzy Osbourne being inducted. I think he, because of his celebrity status, I think he definitely helped, wrestling and WWE to get into that, push into that mainstream. So yeah.
Yeah, JP, have any thoughts on WWE Hall of Famer Ozzy? Any thoughts at all? Brief ones?
Not too much more to add, man. The one thing I want to add, just trying to be like, optimistic about it is, both guys, with him or later on talking about Hogan. Left such a legacy behind here. They crammed as much as they could into those years. An absolute legend that's undeniable. That whether you're, anyone probably under the age of 15 knows exactly who Ozzy is, or over rather, and just undeniable legacy they left behind. So much love to Ozzy and any fan, friend, and family of his.
Yeah, no, and Ozzy just one of those like rock legends that spanned like multiple generations because whether you knew him from Sabbath like 70s and 80s or whether you knew him in the new generation, the MTV generation because of the Osbournes, I know there's some people that probably watched the Osbournes that didn't even like really know his music, just watching it because he was kind of a kooky like weird dude with a weird family, and it's kind of cool that he kind of stayed relevant through that, and then through his both Black Sabbath days and his solo stuff. Ozfest I know is a big thing, he has like his own rock festival, which is pretty awesome. Always showcasing like new talent. So I was definitely banging some Black Sabbath on the way to and from the movies the other day. So I encourage everybody to do so. If you haven't gone back and dug into his filmography, there's some good music there. So R.I.P. Ozzy.
I would also argue that there might have been like another, a wave of people kind of taking notice of him because, he did that Iron Man song way before the movie came out. And so when the movie came out, there was a lot more attention.
Well, and another wrestling related thing, the Road Warriors used to come out to Iron Man back in the NWA days. So back when it was still like a lawless thing where you could just play that whatever you wanted, before like the days of copyrights and whatever, they used to just play just mainstream songs. And Iron Man, Black Sabbath, other Black Sabbath songs got used as entrance themes all the time. So
and Vince Russo came out to a very, very, very similar, like very like WCW, very it's not Black Sabbath. It's not Iron Man, but it is the instead of like change one note.
Mhm.
But but yeah, no. So yeah, like great contribution to wrestling.
For sure. And yeah, somebody else who definitely obviously contributed to wrestling. Our main story of the day, of course, yeah, broke earlier today. Hulk Hogan, yeah, all the latest is that they responded to a call down in Clearwater in Florida in his home and found him, and he had cardiac arrest, is what they're saying essentially. And what's bizarre about it is that Jimmy Hart, I even saw like articles from like 2 days ago, was like out there trying to debunk like health rumors about Hogan, saying like, oh no, he's perfectly fine, he's in great spirits, in great shape, as opposed to Bubba the Love Sponge, who was going on his like podcast and his radio show, saying that like Hogan was in rough shape, that he was like, like close to dying and whatnot. It was like these bizarre kind of conflicting things, and then maybe one was in reality closer than the other one. So, but yeah, it's that all signs point to some kind of heart attack, cardiac arrest. Unfortunately, it's a thing that claims a lot of wrestlers, in their later years, whether just due to wear and tear or prior substances or whatever the case may be. It's an unfortunate thing. So, I mean, let's get into it. JPL, I'll go to you first, man. I know it's a lot to process. We all, have our own memories of Hogan. I mean, you can't really be a wrestling fan without knowing or having some kind of memories of Hogan in one capacity or another, whether it was, the 80s or whether it was like the NWO days or whether even the comeback stuff, in the 2000s, like whatever it is, man. But yeah, start wherever you want to, man, with Hogan, as far as your own
Yeah,
personal.
man. No, growing up a kid in the '90s, born 1990 exactly in August. So a little bit almost like when I first started really watching, Hulk Hogan's ending, NWO's beginning. But I still always, because when I fell in love with wrestling, I went hardcore. I would rent all the old WrestleManias, and I would still see like Hulkamania, him and Ultimate Warrior from WrestleMania that year in 1990 was one I kept wanting to rent so much so that I had to lie to my dad because he was like, "What? Are we renting this again? You've seen it? I don't." I'm like, no. I read that Rory was in green tights. That was a different show. Then he's in blue tights here, so it's a different show. I swear. I had to lie to my dad because I wanted to see it again. Sorry, pops. And then he's the reason that Kevin Nash got all the reason I watched WCW. We were a WWF household, but it was like, hey, like they're doing like Ray Ramon and and Diesel on Nitro, and they're doing this thing, and like the NWO was so much fun that we now became a WCW/WWE household. And some nights it would be more WCW because Nitro started a little earlier usually. So like the episode's that good, I might just be hooked onto that. I remember we would I went to his restaurant, 'cause we just wanted to see what that was like. One time after a show, me and a fellow wrestler, we went to a different restaurant of his just in case. It was like 30 minutes out of the way, but we went there just in case he might have been there. He wasn't that night though. But we're probably not here without him. And I know he obviously had done some real dumb piece of shit stuff, recently. So if you don't like him, you don't want to hear us praise him, that's fine. I understand that. But like we're not here without him. Like those are facts. Like, he brought him and Vince Jr., Vince McMahon brought wrestling to the forefront, making it a national thing, not just a regional thing. And he was the face of that. He was Hulkamania. He will go if you're just going by statistics, he's on the Mount Rushmore. You know what I mean? Of professional wrestling. Like he's one of the guys that sold the most merch, put the most butts in seats. You know what I mean? If you listen to somebody like an Al Snow and he goes, "What's the best match of WrestleMania 3?" No, not Savage and Steve. It's the one that drew the money. It's Hogan and Andre. It's that. So we got to continue to have fun. I love WrestleMania 2002 with The Rock. It was so much so that my band teacher asked if he could borrow my VHS. Saying like that was just a match that it invoked a lot of generations. Like, what? Yeah, I want to see that. So brought my VHS to school. So the guy that taught me trumpet let's watch it. And I sucked at trumpet. But that's a different point. And so yeah, just again, very very shocked to hear. Sometimes you hear about these things. Like you said, it was very different reports. Jimmy Hart was like, he's fine, and calm down. You know what I mean? So, and then other people, were that he wasn't. So it was still very much a shock because sometimes people do kick out. There was a scare with Ric Flair. a year or two ago. There's a
Ric
scare
Flair's
with,
had a couple of scares. He had like that
yeah,
surgery, that like botched
and
surgery scare. He had like recently
where
just got over
he claims he
cancer.
had less than 5% chance of living, according to the doctor,
Yeah, yeah,
Jim
yeah.
Duggan had one not that long ago, where it looked bad for a second, but so Jamie Foxx, you look at the movie world, like, and he's even younger, like you just never know, but like you always kind of just hope and pray and move on. That like all right, he'll be fine. I mean, we'll hear about his comeback. Don't forget, we were going to see him on Fox Nation doing that Real American Freestyle. Eric Bischoff just announced that like a few days before. I
Yeah.
remember watching that actually thinking, like, why isn't Hogan on this panel? And well, that probably shows why that he probably wasn't doing that great, because it was just Bischoff on that. So he was the commissioner. We're going to see him back on TV pretty soon here. He was on Netflix not that long ago. So, Mr. Nanny, Sperm Commando had his movie moments as well.
Yeah.
3 Ninjas at Mega Noon Mountain, Mega High Noon Mountain, some of that.
Yeah.
Thunder in Paradise, movie and TV show.
Mhm.
If you got the Gremlins 2
Oh, 100%.
theater
Yeah.
version or the certain DVD and Blu-ray versions, he's in that. Rocky 3, of course, the Thunder Lips moment that also has action figures of and whatnot. So left his mark, man. Yeah, just shout out to anyone that knew him, loved him. Obviously, if you watched his reality show, which I totally did, shout out to his kids, Brooke and Nick and whatnot. So, and I even and then Linda too, I would imagine probably her, although they didn't get along towards the end. But yeah, just devastating news. Like we said in our private chat, probably the biggest wrestling death that has happened. You don't get much bigger than him. The Rock and Stone Cold are like the 3 biggest, maybe Cena now.
Well,
So
yeah, we always
whew,
wondered if it was,
whew,
somebody like him or like Ric Flair, if he had gone first, like would have been the biggest one up to
yeah,
that point. You know what I mean? Because he's again one of those recognizable, just household names that like even if you're not a wrestling
yeah.
fan, you know
Ric
who
Flair,
Hulk
but
Hogan. Yeah, you know who Ric Flair is. You know who Hulk Hogan is. You know who even the Undertaker to a degree, like most people know
Undertaker
who the
agree.
Undertaker is. Like there's just those certain ones that like span beyond like just pop culture in general. You know what I mean? Like
many,
so.
of course, many on Twitter have expressed their love and condolences. Triple H, everyone, Triple H, Donald Trump, Vince McMahon has spoken.
Mhm.
Ric Flair actually has a video, I think, with TMZ or with somebody, and Ric Flair actually was very emotionally caught up in it as well. I've seen Foley start to slaughter. They've all been interviewed and are on
Mhm.
Twitter about it right now.
Yeah, for sure. Richie, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot more to add, but yeah, it's probably important that like I guess with we're not talking about like Terry Bollea, like controversial figure. I'm not talking, not talking talk about that, but the Hulk Hogan, the Hulk Hogan, like the wrestling wouldn't be here like today without Hulk Hogan. His like one of the most charismatic dudes in the history of wrestling. He was this larger than life character that connected with a whole just a whole generation of people. He he was. I was able to like just change the landscape of wrestling. I don't. Without him, you wouldn't have I think you'd have like people like Rock or Austin. And so I think people say what you will about him, but I think people do owe a lot to Hogan and his success. So we should give him his flowers. But even there are some work matches that you don't think would look good on paper that are actually good. I like his match at WrestleMania 19 with Chris McMahon. That match is good. It's fun. Also people who maybe kind of think that like Hogan only has a couple of moves. Like he had like a couple of matches in Japan where he's like chain wrestling. He's actually really good. Quite good. And
Yeah, and the
no,
people who are like out there and just immediately are like even canceling him after his death, like fuck off. Like we're talking about the wrestler here. Like, like say what you will,
Yeah.
like if you didn't agree with his politics or whatever, or just like, even like the racial stuff, which he apologized for profusely, and like, he says he regrets, and like, he's like he's tried to be a better person, you know what I mean? Like, everybody like screws up. Like I get it, but like to celebrate people's deaths is really bizarre. Like to me,
Yeah,
especially like he's not like a dictator of a third world country. You know what I mean? Like relax. You know what I'm saying? Like there are far worse people in this world. You know what I mean? Like affecting your life.
That's what I'm kind of always talking about too. Like, are there is the shittiness there? Yeah, but at the same time, I don't think it's up to where we can't also give him his praise now. It's, that he didn't cross that line.
Yeah.
There's no unredeemable part. I think
Yeah, if I can't find anything redeemable about someone, or nice to say something about someone, I'm just not gonna say anything. Like I'd rather, it's just because at the end of the day, it just feels, it doesn't matter who it is, it just feels weird to kind of, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who, like what kind of person they have. There's some like family that friends that are grieving. And,
yeah, there's still Brooke and Nick and like Linda, who was married to him for a long. Like these people still have families that like are gonna miss them. I still lost a family member.
He was remarried too.
Yeah, like has a current wife that like loves him very much. You know what I mean? Like it's bizarre to me, like that people would like celebrate stuff like that. I mean, like I know you wouldn't want people like in your own personal family if they'd have made a mistake or two, but like apologize and then they died and somebody went on social media and was like praising their death. Like that's bizarre to me. I just wouldn't say anything at all. Like even if I didn't really like the person, like just don't say anything. Just move on with your life.
That's the general thing that I never understood in life with almost anything. Just don't fucking say anything. You know what I mean? I've never understood. And whether it's even like I think about this the other day, like with video games. You know what I mean? You play a bad round of video games, somebody takes their time to open up your profile, send you a message, type it out, you suck, F word, all this like that. It's like you have nothing better to do than like troll somebody on the internet. Move on with your day. It's a video game. You know, it's a video on YouTube. You don't get a thumbs down it if you don't find the kid funny. So.
I think there's just this lack of. There's this probably lack of like accountability because they're going to be like they're just they're just a faceless person in front of a computer screen, so it's fine. They can say what they want. But,
that is true. Yeah, keyboard warriors. Yeah, that is true. There's no kind of confront. They do it and then they walk away. That was funny. And I was looking at 35 years, y'all. 35 years Hogan put his body out there from the late 70s till about 2012.
Was that officially his last match? Was that like a TNA thing, like 2012?
It was a non-televised match. You'd only find like house show, like fan footage of in the UK. Yeah, his last match will technically go down as him, Sting, and James Storm defeating Kurt Angle, Bully Ray, and Bobby Roode. His last televised match that was in January 2012. His last televised match would be in October of 2011, where he fought Sting at Big Old Bound for Glory.
I saw one of his last matches against Ric Flair at that Hulkamania tour that he did.
Were you at Wales, Brisbane? Where were you?
Brisbane. Yeah.
Brisbane, yeah. So you saw his seventh to last match, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was.
And technically his third to last singles match you saw too.
Yeah. That had all those interesting people on it. He had Eugene, but he was still called Eugene, just different spelling.
U-Gene. Yeah. Another one you can't find, only like very rare like bootleg fan footage. There's like a weird thing of like they filmed it and then like the people that were filmed were never paid, so they held the footage, and so the footage is just non-existent. Sadly, those Hogan Flair matches. His last match would be Randy Orton at SummerSlam back in like 2000 and whatever. If you're wondering about
2005, I believe. Six. Okay, six.
Yeah, 05 is the infamous Shawn Michaels match.
Oh, that's right. The one I drafted for my SummerSlam main event. That's right.
It would have been kind of fitting if we actually, if we spun like the Randy Orton one.
That would have been actually kind of creepy if we saw this last
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Yeah. At least this one, this is like we're in like peak Hulkamania, the one we're watching tonight.
Yeah, we're having
So,
fun. He's main eventing. He's
yeah, crowd's going nuts, kids
Oh,
are
yeah.
loving, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
At the point when it was Hulk Hogan, Randy Orton, like it's like Randy Orton shouldn't have lost. So yeah, it was just one of those things where it's like you don't mind if it's peak Hulkamania 1989. You don't Hulk Hogan should you don't care if Hulk Hogan Hogan wins. You're like yeah cool win, but yeah I take it back immediately. But yeah no it's you see, I like I said in the thing, it is like sad timing, I guess, because it's like, when we were sort of prepping for the show before the news hit, I was going to mention, oh yeah, the Hogan and Bischoff's amateur wrestling project has got like a streaming thing, yeah, and then
and
oh,
isn't like Kurt Angle officially involved now or something like that?
yeah,
Yeah.
Shut up, Siri. And and I think UFC star like Bo Nickel, I think, part of it. There's a few people who are part of it. I believe I don't know if this show's goes. There was also I believe former UFC star Ben Askren is going to be part of it, but he had his own medical issues. He almost passed away.
I don't know who any of these people are.
Yeah. But but I'm just the decent names that would probably they're trying to get attention to bring attention. Although the jury's out as to how it will do. But I don't know how they're. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's gonna be tough without I feel like Hogan was your kind of one of the big selling points. It's like hey, you got Hogan, and it's like on this Fox Network, and you don't have him, so see how that plays out. But no, it's a huge loss, and it's interesting to see how. I wonder if I wonder how much when it was the next wrestling show, like Raw or whatever, will dedicate to him. I'm guessing there'll be quite a bit. He's the biggest wrestling star in history. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, and just as far as me, what's bizarre about my history with Hulk Hogan is that I may have, as a kid, known him from movies before I knew him from wrestling, because I wasn't. Well, just because I've told the story that I wasn't really allowed to watch wrestling until I was kind of in my teenage years, around sort of 2000, 2001. So I didn't see in the 90s, when I was growing up, I didn't see any of his Hulkamania, or even I occasionally would catch some of the WCW NWO type stuff here and there. So I was aware of Hogan. I would see clips here and there, and I was always fascinated by it. But oddly enough, I rented Mr. Nanny a bunch of times, as a kid from Blockbuster. I saw it on cable a lot, I had Gremlins 2 on VHS. So that scene in the middle, where he hulks out on the Gremlins, I saw all the time. I was a massive Rocky fan. Those movies came on all the time. So anytime Rocky 3 was on, there's Thunder Lips and it's Hulk Hogan. I knew that. But I may have even I watched Thunder in Paradise, even though I couldn't watch wrestling. Thunder in Paradise was on TBS or whatever, and I watched the show because there was a wrestler on it. I was kind of early JP.
He's a fan of character actor Hulk Hogan.
Character actor Hulk Hogan, yeah. You know what I mean? I was oh, hey, it's a wrestler on a thing. I'll watch that. Just it's what I could get away with. Hey, the wrestler's on the TV show. I can watch that because I'm not really watching wrestling. I'm watching the movie or the TV show with the wrestler. So it's kind of backwards. And then once I got into wrestling, I came into WWE right as he was coming back, in 2002, when they brought the NWO back, when he ran on his run on SmackDown, brought the red and yellow back, when he's coming out to Voodoo Child, which was kind of cool, for a little while, the Jimi Hendrix song, which was pretty awesome. So I caught kind of that later resurgence Hogan, and then obviously went back and did my homework and watched a lot of the old stuff. But it's nobody can deny whatever you thought of him personally. And it's kind of unfortunate that his last official TV appearance is going to be him getting booed out of the building.
Yeah.
Now, like in retrospect, that kind of sucks. That's like his last like wrestling appearance. It's kind of unfortunate, but yeah, even then, like you can't deny that like he made wrestling what it is today. Like wrestling would not be to the heights that it is without Hulkamania. Like that's just a fact. And he brought the houses, like he brought the stadiums, like he, sold the merch. He broke through the pop culture mainstream, like becoming, we talked about in our chat, like there are people who have never seen a Hulk Hogan match start to finish who know, hey brother, eat your vitamins, say your prayers, like they know Hulk Hogan, like without even seeing matches. Like he broke through and became like one of those guys. So it's just an iconic figure, where he has to be like on a Mount Rushmore if you make him. Like I get maybe not for his like wrestling ability per se, although I think he was really good at being Hulk Hogan. We'll talk about it tonight, but like he's really good at being Hulk Hogan, if that makes sense. Like he knew how to like do what he needed to do to get the reaction. You know what I mean? So like to a degree, he kind of he just did what he did.
The thing I'll say about his wrestling ability too, you got to understand, is like, especially in that era, like he did exactly what he needed to do to get over.
Yeah.
Like nobody was angry. Nobody in the 80s was like, no, match was 2 stars because he didn't do enough. No, They loved it. They loved it.
No, I mean we'll talk about the thing tonight. Like, is the main event tonight? Like, we'll get there. Like the greatest thing ever? No, but are like the kids in the audience jumping up and down and screaming by the end of the match? Yes, they are. So that's a success. Like you've got the crowd on the palm of your hands, and the crowd's going nuts, and they're into it. Like that's what matters in the long run. Yeah, I think. He didn't have to have a Will Ospreay 5-star beggar, I mean, nor would he. It's just
people weren't necessarily into that.
Knew what to do.
Ric Flair was kind of doing that in his day. That was for that company and that guy.
Yeah, you save that for your Ricky Steamboats, your Ric Flairs, your Arn Anderson, your workhorses that can do that, your Shawn Michaels, those guys who could do it, Bret Hart, those workhorses that did do that, that's fine. Yeah. Those guys were all over the card. So, but Hogan, had that influence. He had that star power. So, it's a truly shocking death. I definitely agree with JBO. This is the biggest wrestling death ever so far, in the pantheon of like wrestling deaths for sure. Just because, he was the guy, and it's going to be really unfortunate going back and like watching stuff now, knowing that he's not with us anymore. Because he just seemed like one of those guys that was going to like be around forever. Because he was always kind of
out with me. I don't know.
Trying to stay in shape and like always kind of tooling around doing something, you know what I mean? Some new venture, some this, that, or the other. Like
out of the 4 of us, probably the best in shape,
Yeah, no, 100% way better in shape than I am. And more than twice my age, like 100 or like.
And what was it again? 71? Is that right?
71, yeah. So
I mean, there is, knock on wood, you'd hope, another 10, 20, maybe, but
Yeah, I thought it'd at least be another 10. And this is gonna sound bad, but I promise I'm not trying to make it bad. I always thought between like him and Flair would have gone first, only because he seemed like he had more of the health issues and like the scares, that we talked about.
Yeah, I know what you mean. What you mean. Statistically, and like, what you've heard, sure,
And then, like, because you would always see Hogan still in like interviews or at the shops, and like he looked like he was still like lifting weights. He looked pretty good, like for a 70-year-old dude. He looked good, like he really did. It's like how many 70-year-old dudes that look like that, other than like an Arnold Schwarzenegger or Stallone or something, like looking, still lifting weights in shape, tooling around, like having a little trouble walking, but like still looks good, like it's just
And again, like I don't mean it to sound bad, but like. But also, like adding to that, Flair does lose gimmick a lot. So
that's what I mean. Yeah, and it seemed like Hogan didn't really do that stuff. Yeah,
you think it'd catch up to him at some point, but like it's quite. It is. It's like it's really. It's I don't know how else to say it. It's a shocking thing, but like I guess just to add to that, like the wrestling bit, I think that his wrestling, his wrestling style worked for the character of Hulk Hogan. Like I said, I don't think he was like the greatest athlete or anything like that, but like like I said, but he if you watch his matches when he like clips of him in Japan, like he can like do other shit. Like he can chain wrestle and stuff like that. But just that wouldn't make
his early. Go watch his early Saturday Night's main event matches, like 85, 86, 87. Like he was actually like working for a little while, and then like it took a toll on him like fairly quickly, like because he was like, if you remember, they were also doing house shows like 4 or 5 days a week, you know what I mean? And he's doing all that. So he adjusted his style to where like he didn't have to do as much and he could still get over, with the crowd reactions and be more of like, kind of a cartoon character to a degree, like an over the top character. But yeah, he didn't like, I think he quickly realized like, no, I can scale it back a little bit and still get the job done, still draw the houses.
Work smart, not harder.
Yeah, work smarter, not harder. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Like he didn't have to do, certain things that other guys were doing because he's at the top of the card. He's still drawing the money. He's still doing the promos. He's, he's still the attraction. So yeah, that's not what they came here to see. They came here to see the character. Like not necessarily like, oh man, Hulk Hogan's in the main event tonight, man. It's going to be a 5-star banger. You know what I mean? Like people didn't think like that back then. They just didn't.
It's sort of like when people like look at like Andre the Giant. You know what I mean? If you look at Andre the Giant like before, like, in the last few years, like Andre the Giant, they're a bad wrestler. But if you watch him before his health failed, like, holy shit, this guy can move.
Like go watch his stuff from Florida in like the 70s. Like he's super fast. Like he can move. Like those guys. Yeah, it's just eventually, that bumps. Doing that every day. Takes a toll on you, man. So, you gotta make adjustments.
But like, even so, like, I don't think people, even when he was like slowing down Andre the Giant, like, I don't think, again, like Hogan, I don't think he'll care. Like, people watch Andre the Giant because he's a specimen. He's an attraction. He's like, no, he's just larger than life figure. And I think Hulk Hogan is the same. He's just a larger than life figure. It's sort of almost this cartoon character. Like, you watch it for just to see this person. There wasn't this. Like Jay Pierce said, there's not this emphasis on wrestling ability like there is sort of now. So yeah, I think it's
he was a professional wrestler. You know what I mean? Like he was the epitome of like what people think of when they think of a professional wrestler. Like that's what Hulk Hogan was. You know what I mean? Like the sweating all the time, cutting the crazy promos, with catchphrases and the big muscles. Like he's kind of like what most people when they think of professional wrestler, like that guy's a wrestler. Yeah, I buy that. So yeah, no, we'll kind of leave it at that. Obviously, we'll talk more about Hogan in just a little bit when we actually get into SummerSlam because he's all over the show. But yeah, no, 71 years old, man, Hulk Hogan. So we'll see if more kind of details come out in the later years, or not later years, next week or two, something like that. We'll see. But yeah, so we'll leave it at there for right now. And yeah, we kind of covered some of the tangential news, like you said, with like the Real American Freestyle and like some of the other reports and whatnot. JPO, what else you got for us now? You got any other tidbits? I know there's a Slammiversary pay-per-view that's kind of controversial.
Yeah, that's the first name.
Yeah. Go ahead. You want to get into that?
First thing to talk about, so Slammiversary, big show for TNA now. We're 23 years strong. Strong at different times during the career of TNA. Over on the pre-show, we saw the debut of a couple people. They're doing a collab with Fourth Row promotion, owned by oh god, what's his name? What's That Gun? That's right. His name was Machine Gun Kelly, but that's not right. What's That Gun is his name. So Enzo, now Real One, Enzo More, debuted as well as Zilla Fatu, part of the one of the bloodline, one of the many bloodline people.
Right.
So a couple of that was an interesting debut there. Then yeah, some of the big notes from the show. JC Jane is now a dual champ. She is rocking both the current NXT Women's Championship as well as the TNA Knockouts Championship. So JC Jane is the one to create that feature. Leon Slater is your new X Division champion, as well as the youngest ever X Division champion. So shout out to Leon Slater, who afterwards was congratulated by AJ Styles making a quick appearance. Unfortunate news for there. It does sound like Moose did hurt himself in that match, so Moose might be out for an indefinite amount of time. The Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff, would win their fourth set of TNA tag titles, and after that, Bubba Ray Dudley comes by, and it seems like we're hinting we might get one more Dudleys and the Hardys match here, maybe for Bound for Glory here in a couple of months. So that could be a big match there. And then main event, Trick Williams just straight up retains that title, defeats Mark Santana as well as Joe Hendry to retain the TNA World Title. Good numbers too. They set an attendance record over 7,300 fans packed that arena, and a record that's been held for the last 12 years. The last time was 7,200 for Lockdown back in 2013. So first time they've had over 7,000 fans since Lockdown in 2013. So yeah, what do you guys think about the controversy? Is it because that Trick retained, or
my takeaway was that I think the crowd. I worry about. We talk about pulling the trigger when somebody's like at the peak of their hotness, so to speak. You know what I mean? And I thought it was going to be the right time. You're in New York. You got Mike Santana, who's been like making a name for himself. It seems like he's the hot thing right now. He's earned his way to the main event. It seemed you got this record crowd who's ready to see it, and then you just do kind of a cheap finish you see on like a weekly television show of just like, oh, I tossed the guy out, steal the pin. It seems kind of cheap. And I think the crowd was like, not
your typical thrill ending. Yeah.
I know where they're kind of going with this. I think they're going for when they get to Bound for Glory, the one-on-one match, the Santana, a Trick one-on-one.
They kind of the exact same thing with Joe Hendry.
That's what I mean. I think they're running the Hendry thing back with Santana. I think that's what they're doing. So I don't know.
That was my thing. Is that while it's controversial, I'm not surprised because TNA. Sometimes TNA got to be TNA, and you have a layup. This is where you do it. Nah.
I just feel like they kind of fucked their momentum a little bit. They really did, because I feel like. Yeah, I'm sure it's not like Summerversary. It wasn't one of those $10, whatever pay-per-views on the TNA Plus app. This was a $40 main ass pay-per-view. Like, this was just as good as Bound for Glory to a degree to shoot that title.
And I think some people were literally tuning in to see Mike Santana win the big one. You know what I mean? Like maybe people who've been following his singles career, since he broke out, that it seemed like the conditions were just kind of ripe for it. And we talked about the Joe Hendry thing, not pulling the trigger quite at like the peak of his height. They kind of waited a little long and then did it. The same thing with the Outrunners. We talked about the Outrunners, like when you could have put those straps on them in AEW and it would have been like at the peak of them being cool, you know what I mean? They just kind of missed it, and then they're able to recapture that.
And we're talking about I don't know if they're ever going to do it, but if LA Knight ever gets a title, it's a bit too late I feel at the moment.
Yeah, I think we've kind of almost passed the peak LA Knight, opportunity. Like there was a year ago, maybe. It's just I know where they're going. I know they're going to do some kind of one-on-one thing. Yeah, with them two at Bound for Glory, and at that point, Mike will probably take it. You know what I mean, like in the main event, because I know they're setting up.
Also, Trick really doesn't need it much longer.
I think they're setting up to where he'll do that main event, and then he'll drop it, and then that'll be his push to get onto the main roster right after that. I feel like that's where they're going. You know what I mean? That he's going to start popping up on Raw or SmackDown, whatever they're going to put him on. But I think they're setting up this thing. It's like, oh no, all those NXT people have our titles. We're the underdogs now. We got to go get them back, and we'll win them back at our show. At the Big Bound for Glory show. I guess that's what they're going for. But yeah, it feels like you're. I don't know, man. Sometimes, man, if the conditions are right, why the fuck not? Just pull the trigger on it. You know what I mean? What could it hurt in the long run if you just go with the person who has the fire? You know what I mean? Who's boiling hot, ready to go. Sometimes it's wrestling, man. What could it hurt? You know what I mean? You pull the trigger on a guy, you have a great crowd moment, you send everybody home happy. What's the worst that could happen? Honestly, I
don't know. Did Trick really need to get chokeslammed by the Undertaker?
What's the point of that? Where's that leading? Yeah, that was weird to me too.
If it was leading to a match, that's one thing, but he's not going to wrestle.
Is it going to lead to? Is it going to lead to? I almost wonder, is it going to lead to a first time thing where the Undertaker shows up on a TNA pay per view? I kind of wonder if that's where we're going.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
To help Mike win, you know what I mean? That sort of thing. And just do a first time ever. Oh my god, the Undertaker on a TNA pay-per-view. That's something. I mean, it could be. I'm just speculating. I don't know.
It just seemed weird to me. Yeah. So if it pays off, then cool. But yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I worry they're gonna lose that momentum because sometimes it just seems like you're at the peak, man. Like pull the trigger, pull the trigger. Oh no, you're losing it. You're losing it. Like don't wait too long. Oh no, you missed it. Like you just I don't know. Like that's all I worry about. But yeah, I mean we'll see. When is Bound for Glory, JB? Do you happen to know that offhand?
Oh, I don't know what's on my head now.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it. Bound for Glory.
It's not even like
October 12th, so if you got a couple months. Why I thought it was October.
That's
So
what I mean. October,
yeah.
I wonder if you're going to lose that momentum by October. That's what I worry about.
Yeah, well, that's why I thought Summerverse was a good timing because I didn't even think about Bound for Glory because I'm like, oh, that's so far out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're gonna really keep it going. Even like the Dudley's thing was kind of weird because I was like, we're starting that already.
But that is their that is
basically for another 2 months.
That is their big show, though, right? Like that's basically their WrestleMania, right? Like it kind of
that's what they.
I know. I feel like Aaron Hawani said this one was, but I feel like most of the time, you would say Bound for Glory technically is,
yeah.
I
feel like it makes sense if they changed and said, "Oh, this is our WrestleMania because it's their anniversary." But generally speaking, Bound for Glory has always been considered their WrestleMania. And God, I haven't heard
what the hell is that? You have another bird in your house? What the hell's going on? All right, I'm gonna leave it. Anyways, JPO, let's keep chatting for a minute while he deals with some kind of invader.
Yeah. No, another kind of interesting, a kind of a first time. I've been waiting for this to happen. Somebody who was just released from NXT is now a TNA signee. Mara Sade, you know her as Jakara Jackson, Lash Legends tag team partner, is just in TNA now. So that's interesting because will she just pop back up on NXT now under different name?
She was just in that Battle Royal at Evolution too, so that's bizarre.
No, she wasn't. You're thinking of Lash Legend.
Jakara Jackson was in there too, wasn't she?
No, Jakara got released. We went over this. Jakara got released a while ago. 100%.
Am I thinking of? Am I confusing her with BFAB?
Maybe they have a very they have more of a similar look. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're gonna BFAB. Yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking of BFAB.
Jakara was even Lash on NXT. They even fought. I think they might have even been on a TNA pay-per-view previously, like a 4-way. For those knockout static titles. But now Jakara Jackson has signed with TNA now as Mara Sade, so that'll be interesting. Like I said, that'll be interesting to see because we've seen now Ash and Elijah / Elias. A couple people appear on NXT that have been previously, Fandango. But this will be the first time somebody who technically was fired within the recent weeks could be popping up, whatever.
Santino Morello on NXT challenging Ethan Page.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, Santino going to fight Ethan next week. It sounds like so. I'm not sure 100% sure. Did they say for sure the title? I could be wrong. It's probably more of a fight than anything.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me either if Santino swerves Ethan. Go actually, I've got someone else who's going to wrestle you, and it's someone else, like someone who's more of an active wrestler. I don't know. It seems weird that Santino's doing it.
I could see that. I mean, Santino does still wrestle occasionally. He's not like a full timer by any means, but he's dabbled. I mean, obviously he teamed with his daughter recently, which we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not totally thinking not, but that 100% could happen too. I can see that too. Sonya Deville did say in her recent interview with Van Fleet that she is done with wrestling. Again, the whole never say never thing, but just like she's definitely not actively looking for work right now. So we might be the end of Sonya Deville as far as being a pro wrestler.
It was more so because she's loyal to the WWE and doesn't really want to wrestle and doesn't feel like home wrestling anywhere else. I think that was the thing. So if she got asked to go back to WWE, she might consider it. But for now, she's retired.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it was more of the line. I didn't necessarily see it as just I guess similar to that. I think it was also just, hey, I did my thing in WWE. That's where I was. That's my home, and they're done with me. So, I don't really have much of an inkling to go anywhere else. So I imagine WWE for some reason wanted her back, but I don't necessarily know why they necessarily would. Real Make Freestyle will still go on with Fox Nation pretty soon. And hey, if you're like a PT time, don't forget midnight and EST time 3 a.m. Abbott Gilmore 2's dropping, y'all. I'm gonna try to stay awake.
You're gonna stay awake and watch it? Okay.
I'm gonna try. I was hoping it was midnight, No, ESC people being screwed over. We got to wait till 3.
Oh
It was
no.
midnight. It was
Well,
midnight
I
for
mean,
everybody.
you could always get like a nice power nap and then wake up and like try to watch it, like
Those don't work for me. I
whatever.
think we sleep out of that makes me worse. I
Yeah.
think if I
I,
try to
I
like just straight up
probably I
sleep.
probably won't get to it till Saturday night, most likely. I'm pretty busy tomorrow, but probably
Oh,
Saturday night. Yeah, so
I'm
I'll have to wait.
spoiling everything for you.
I know, no spoilers, please. I'll try to get to
No, but
it.
I had to turn off an interview. MJF's been doing press with the other Sons. I had to turn
Yeah,
off the interview because I feel like one of the Sons was giving me spoilers. I didn't like it,
yeah,
so I stopped watching his interviews. MJF's very funny though. 'Cause MJF normally is in character in those interviews, which is fantastic.
yeah.
Yeah, I love MJF
I did
interviews.
see
Um,
Van Vliet because he still does like Hollywood, Q&As occasionally. He still
yeah,
does like
he
the
talks to
Hollywood Report.
Sandler about it.
Like, well, he talked to Sandler, and of course he brought, oh, you got two wrestlers in this movie. Let me talk to you about the
Yeah,
wrestlers. And like, but no, Sandler said like MJF was very funny. He did some cool, good
yeah,
improv like here
good
and there.
praise.
So like, yeah,
I
praise him.
love
Said it
my
was very
fake
funny.
son.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, right.
good praise for the Sandman. Yeah, Becky Lynch will appear in it as well. And originally, Nikki Bella was supposed to be in it as well, but she claimed recently that the cut she saw felt like she got cut. So
Uh,
she might
uh,
be in the background at some point, but it sounds like she's like, yeah, I had a character name, I had lines. She's like, I don't think any of that left. It got left. So it might be just MJF and Becky and kind of Nikki now. So we'll see.
yeah.
But
Mhm.
yeah, looking forward to it. Looks like a star cameo packed. Hopefully not to the point of where there's nothing besides just cameos. But I look forward to it.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you after this. It certainly looks better than the trailer I showed Austin of a movie that could be on a worse list that's coming to Netflix next month. Have you seen the trailer for Fixed?
Oh yeah,
It's like a
it's funny.
animated dog movie, like kind
I
of a
was
thing.
doing
Yeah.
my August anticipation list, and I had it higher because it sounded good on paper,
Yeah,
but
then you
then that
watch the trailer.
trailer is horrible.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah, bad
Yeah.
animation. It looks like a worse version of what's the Will Ferrell one?
Oh, that's
Well,
strange.
yeah, straight. Well, I told Richie it looks like it's in the
Yeah,
Fritz the Cat universe, like in the same universe as that movie, which is
it's
like
just
a bad
one note.
70s movie.
And
Yeah.
that's I mean, again, prove me wrong, but the trailer was so bad that honestly, I don't know if I will watch it. That trailer was nothing
It's got
fun.
Idris Elba in
So
it.
yeah,
Who did he
Idris
bribe?
Elba.
oh, yeah.
Yes.
What? I mean, maybe his voice, like, if you have the money in, they're like, hey, do a couple hours, so be a dog. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one day at work and we'll give you, a nice little healthy paycheck. Yeah, I mean,
I know
most movies do
sometimes,
that.
occasionally with animation too, is like maybe, and this might not be it, but I know this has happened before, where like there's plans of it being the bigger studio, but then the studio gets like everything together and they go, this kind of sucks, and they put it to a smaller studio. So every once in a while, there'll be like a good voice cast in like a really shitty movie, you know?
Yeah, yeah. No, you'll see
Like,
a lot of these like direct to DVD movies, and then you look at the top,
yeah,
and it's like legit people that
several decent people,
and
yeah,
then a lot of them it's like, and even if you ask them about it, because I've been to like conventions where they get asked about it, and they're like, oh yeah, I recorded all this stuff like one day, and the movie came out 3 years later, and like I never even knew about it. Like what I mean, the movie
right.
just like came out like on DVD. Like I recorded all this shit
Watch
over a
a
weekend.
YouTube
Yeah.
video. Don't watch the whole movie; it's not worth it. Food Fight.
Oh,
Charlie
Food
Oh,
Fight.
Sheen,
I've
Hillary
seen it.
Duff, Eva Longoria, and more.
Oh, I've seen it.
yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
It's the
Yeah.
worst. We might be doing a monthly mistake drinking game, me and Wolf to it, like later this year,
Oh
actually. So
no!
yeah,
Oh
because
no!
it's bizarre. Yeah, because we want to do an animated movie. So yeah, that's one of the contenders right now. So
Yeah.
it's
That,
insane.
that
Everybody's
tracks.
nuts.
That tracks.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else? Yeah, it's kind of
That
a
it, Richard?
unless Richie has something.
No, not really. Me and Pez just talking prior thing where of Will Ospreay's injury, saying I'm injured, but I'll be back before in time for Forbidden Door. I'm like, dude, take some time.
Just take some time and heal up. Don't rush
Uh,
it.
that's pretty significant. That seems like a pretty significant
Because
injury.
apparently he has like 2 herniated discs in like his like neck spine area, and he's like, but he had a bizarre thing where he's just like, oh yeah, I'm doing the treatment and like, yeah, I'll be back by Forbidden Door, and it's like, bro, if you need time to like heal up from like nagging injuries, like I would rather you take like 2-3 months off and just get healed up,
Absolutely.
and, like come back 100%, and then like start
I've
finish
given
the year
that
strong.
advice in real life to multiple like local guys and Florida guys, where it's like,
Yeah,
dude, like you don't rush because all you're gonna do is make it worse. Like instead of
yeah,
now needing 6 months off, you're gonna make it worse to where I can need surgery and you need a year and a half off. Like, no,
right.
just be smart. Like wrestling's not going anywhere. Will after your contract's set, I'm sure. Like, yeah, hopefully
I
you're not
know
rushing it.
I think it's just because it's in London. That's got to be the only reason. Is like he just wants to be at the London show, and I get it. I get it that he
Yeah,
wants to be in London and he wants to be,
but yeah,
in a prominent role. But like, at the same time, you don't want to risk getting injured. Then you're out for a year. You don't miss, and then you miss, all in back in London next year back at Wembley. You can't be like in the main event or whatever. Like
Yeah.
you don't want to.
If I was him, I'd rather make All in London and not Forbidden Door and miss Forbidden Door.
Yeah, just heal up a little bit, man. You've earned it. You've given us banger after banger after banger. Like if I'm pretty sure the fans, if you said, "Hey, I just got some nagging injuries. I'm going to take like 2-3 months off, just chill, and I'll be back, and I'll be better than ever." You know what I mean? Like the fans would be like, "Yeah, bro, like do what you got to do. You've given us amazing, amazing, so much so that hey, us here on the Lonely Marks, we have to have a separate category for your matches every year. Like that's how good you are. Like yeah, we will forgive you and welcome you back if you need to take injury time off, you know what I mean, and just like heal up a little bit and rest. Like I'm totally fine with that. But Will's gonna Will, and he's a workhorse, so he's just gonna do his thing. Because he still lives in London. He says he flies to America like every week, to make like the tapings and stuff. It's crazy. Like that dude is like constantly traveling, and like he says he's always jet lagged like all the time because he's back and forth, overseas, with the time thing. So like because he didn't want to move, here, to wherever, Florida, Georgia, whatever, he didn't want to move. He wants to stay.
he didn't want to move his wife and kid.
He didn't want to move the wife and kid. Yeah, which I get. But yeah, it's got to take a toll on him, even just the travel. Like the travel's got to be, hell.
But his missus works for the company now, so
it's like and now that she's like employed, you'd think like that might make it a little easier. But oh well, what are you gonna do? So. But yeah, so that
the other thing I've got, which is not that. I mean, the WWE released the new DLC for 2K25, so that's with New Jack.
I saw the entrance for it. Yeah, they have the entrance video online.
He's got the generic music.
He's got the generic music that if you go back and like watch an ECW show on the network, it's that rap song kind of a thing, like that song. Yeah, it's that song.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I didn't realize that KSI was part of this pack as well. He's in this pack as in the Prime bottle. You got Jordan Grace, which is cool, Penta, and Bull Nakano. And one surprising one that I didn't think of, because they added another addition to the WrestleMania pack, which you get when you get the game, but they added Aleister Black. So I was like, sick.
Okay. Having like current people makes sense, like that works.
I love it. Yeah.
Penta makes sense. Aleister Black makes sense. Bull Nakano's cool. Like that's got to be a first, like her being just even in a video game in general, I would imagine. So that's cool. Yeah, New Jack, obviously never been in a like WWE, sort of game. It's like backyard wrestling and the ECW games. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much it.
Yeah. The fact I could do Abyss versus New Jack in a WWE game as well.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Definitely. All right. I didn't have anything else. So you guys want to get into some old school stuff, and we'll talk about some SummerSlam. JPO, if you want to. Sorry, good.
No, I'm going to do my normal thing, but first I'm going to need like 5 to 10. Y'all do your thing. I'll be back. I got to do something real quick.
No worries. I was going to say, when you come back, if you just want to do your usual, like, hit us with some fun facts, some trivia, whatever you want to do. Totally cool with me.
So,
all right.
I'll be back as soon as I can.
Sounds
All
good. Yeah, Richie, let's talk SummerSlam 1989. And again, we spun this randomly, so you can go back and watch it. We spun it on screen. We put a whole bunch of years of SummerSlam that we hadn't done yet on a wheel, and we just happened to spin SummerSlam 89, which is very Hulk Hogan heavy. So, it just kind of happened to work out that we can talk about Hogan's, promos and his in-rings and whatnot here on the show, Richie. But yeah, this is also that weird period where your lead commentators for this are Tony Schiavone and Jesse Ventura. It was that sort of it was like 6 months or something, or maybe a year where Tony Schiavone was there. They didn't like him, or he didn't get along with them, something like that. But I swear we've done like a 1990 show in WCW where it's Tony Schiavone and Jesse Ventura. They both left like together. Essentially, and then they brought back, obviously they, it's like Gorilla and either Bobby the Brain Heenan, or sometimes like Gorilla and Roddy Piper, any combination, or even Mr. Perfect to a degree. I think did a lot of commentary, I think around that time as well.
Because I think around this, it wasn't that long until Mr. Perfect gets in kind of prematurely retires for a while. That's commentary for a bit. And, so I don't know when that timeline is. So I'm pretty sure they do leave not long after the show.
No, I know. I remember watching like a Clash of the Champions or something from like sometime in 1990 WCW, and it was Tony and Jesse. Like I know, I know that was like a real thing because they both departed not long after. But yeah, still, but I think they make a good team. Tony's doing his thing, and Jesse Ventura clowns him for being a nerd. On the show multiple times. So I always like Jesse because he's it's funny He's always trying to be a heel announcer, but a lot of times he's correct. And we'll get into some stuff where he's
we'll get into that.
Yeah, especially during the I'll talk about one specific instance during the Warrior match where he's absolutely
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. We'll get there. He's 100% correct. So but yeah, he'll bitch, but sometimes he's right. So anyways, August 28th, 1989, and we are at the Meadowlands, a legendary kind of arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey, and that they've worked many times with the Meadowlands. So we get some of the intros with the announcers, sort of Saturday Night's Main Event style, with just at the table, running down a little bit of the card. We get into our first match fairly quickly. We got a tag team match, although it's not for the tag team titles, Richie. It is a non-title match. We got the Hart Foundation, Bret Hart, and Jim the Anvil Neidhart taking on the Brainbusters of Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson. A tag team I always enjoy kind of go back and seeing for this brief little period when they were in, WWF for a little while. Because, it's a pretty fun little, almost like a mini Horseman tag team. And I appreciate that. And they're
a non-title match on pay-per-view, though.
Yeah, it's a little bizarre. And I don't know why that's the case. Jesse mentioned something about like, this match was already signed, and then Tully and Arn won the titles or something. I don't know, the story, again, the context. I didn't get a chance to go back and kind of see everything that was going around the time, so I don't know. But yeah, it's a non-title match. But yeah, we get things started. Bret and Tully get things going here. Bret hits some quick arm drag, starts working on the arm of Tully. He tags in Arn quickly after that. Bret reverses some takedown attempts. It's a big slam. Anvil comes in. He works on the arm as well. They sort of start to isolate Arn Anderson, just working over his arm. He goes to tag Tully, but it doesn't count because they do a couple of bizarre things where it's like they try to do these like wacky tags where like they're reaching under the bottom rope and tag, and then it was like either Arn or Tully tries to like tag their foot at one point, and Joey Morella's not having it, as far as like they're trying to like kind of skirt their tags here. So they do a few of those. There's a double team on Tully. This is the part where I said he tries to tag his foot, and Morella says, "Hell no, you're not doing that." Tully chops Jim a little bit, but Jim no-sells a bunch of chops from Tully and kind of fires up on him. He whips Tully hard into the corner. The Hart guys are dominating here pretty early. Not much going on for the Brainbusters here. Tully and Brett work back and forth. They work some wrist locks, kind of work each other down to the mat. There's a really cool spot where then Arn comes in, and they both put a top wrist lock on Bret Hart, and they go to like slam him down, but Brett flips out of it and then does a double Japanese arm drag to both of them. It was a really cool spot.
Yeah, I like that.
That was pretty awesome. I was like, oh shit, I've never seen that before. That looked awesome. Crowd pop big for it. This was a pretty cool, innovative spot there. But yeah, Brett chases Tully around the ring a little bit. Arn hits a cheap shot. So this is where they kind of take over a little bit. Everybody's kind of brawling around. Brett's back in with Tully. He stomps Tully's abs and his legs. Maybe he's like starting to set up for the sharpshooter. But Tully tries a springboard dive to get out of it. But in a cool spot, he tries a springboard dive on the Anvil, and Anvil catches him midair. It's really impressive. Drives him into the corner. So again, heart. Yeah, what's up?
I was sort of caught off guard because, like, I don't know, like I mean, Tully's more of a technical guy. So when he like springboard up the rope like with the ease, I'm like, man, that's athletic. Holy shit!
Yeah, no, he does that, but it's even cool, yeah, because Anvil just snatches him right out of midair, like no hesitation whatsoever, no stumbles. Big, strong guy, that Jim the Anvil Neidhart, big, scary, mean, strong man. But yeah, they drives him into the corner. They go for the heart attack, but Arn is able to stop that from the apron and stop the finish there. They then kind of isolate Jim a little bit. Jim gets caught in a camel clutch, and he starts to stand up and kind of power out of it. But there's a blind tag to Arn Anderson, and he's able to kind of cut off Jim there. The big men start colliding. They collide in the middle of the ring. Both men are down. We kind of get for the hot tags here. So Jim, whips I think Arn into the ropes. Brett's able to get like a knee to the back. Finally gets a tag. Crowd's going nuts. Brett comes in, fires up on both guys. He slams both of them. Got some clotheslines, some drop kicks, forearm from the second rope. So Brett firing House of Fire here. Suplex, but yeah, he only gets a 2 count. Arn Anderson breaks it up. Tully and Brett collide in the middle of the ring. Then Arn and Jim kind of break off, and they start kind of having like a big man brawl at ringside, kind of slamming into each other. Arn gets pulled into the post. And then Brett is able to kind of slingshot. It was a cool spot where Jim got back up on the apron, and Brett like did the thing where he slingshotted his own partner, and he did like an over the ropes like shoulder block. That was a cool spot as well.
Like the Sheamus battering ram thing.
Yeah. So I mean, they're doing some pretty cool like tag team stuff here. So he hits him with that, and then Jim. It's funny. Then Jim takes Brett almost like in a burning hammer position, and then like flips him over so that Brett lands on Tully. That was also kind of bizarre but cool. Which
I was like, "What are you doing? He's turning heel."
Yeah, I was like, he's about to burn it. He literally looks like a burning hammer. Like he's got him like in that kind of like bridge position. He flips him over there, but there's no referee right now because he's kind of distracted with all of them. And Arn, as he's in a pinning position, comes off the top rope with an axe handle to the back of Brett's head, and then he covers his own face so he can get the kind of illegal pin, so he doesn't see that it's not Tully, and he gets the 3 count. So yeah, the Brainbusters steal the win there. But yeah, no, it's an interesting match. I feel like it never quite got into like that third gear, Richie. Like I would have liked to have seen them maybe get to that a little bit quicker. But it's still like really solid work from everybody. It's not boring. These guys are all really good workers. And yeah, there was some really cool like double team stuff, and Brett had some innovative stuff here. So not a bad way to open the show. Maybe a little long for an opener, maybe trim it down 2 or 3 minutes and kind of again get to the hot stuff at the end quicker. But yeah, what'd you think of this one?
Yeah, I felt this one went long to maybe to justify why these other ones were quite short. But yeah, no, I thought it was pretty good, pretty dang good. Yeah, like there was some when you pull out some spots I still haven't seen in like 2025. That's impressive. And yeah, I thought it was really good. I will say like there's Brick's done this a couple of times, and it's a sort of, and he's not like the only person that's done it. But it's just a pet peeve of mine where like you're sort of getting pinned for 3, but you still like on the 3 you still move your leg, and it's weird. It's like you'll still like jig his leg out like that. I'm like, well, if you can move your leg, you could kick out. Like, just stay still.
Yeah. I think it bugs me more when they actually kick out at like 3.25, like right after the pin. I think that bugs me more when they actually do that. But it's fine. No big
I've been
deal.
meaning to ask you this too. Do you get annoyed when if someone's getting pinned, if the person's getting pinned looks at you like to know when to kick out?
Oh yeah, because you see that a lot. The Rock used to do that a lot, where you'd see his eyeball like shoot out, like looking at the referee, like waiting for like his arm. I don't necessarily mind it because at least I know they're paying attention, and they know they're about to kick out, as opposed to like just sort of trusting that they're going to do it. Like I'd rather at least somewhat know, but they could make it at least a little more. Rock would always like bug his eyes out as he was looking at the referee, and you knew he was like watching for the arm, you know what I mean, to like kick out. But hey, at least he would make the effort, you know what I mean. You knew he was like paying attention, he was all there. So I'd rather have them do that than I guess not do that, if that makes sense.
I just figure that maybe you should like know the cadence. So I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you know the referee, if it's somebody you worked with a lot, like most of the guys I would work with, they kind of knew my rhythm, so they knew when to kick out. So it was fine. But yeah, no, I mean, again, a solid opener, not like the greatest opener I've ever seen, but it's not boring. It's still good. You got good workers in there, running around and doing stuff.
Actually, there was one other spot that I was like wondering, but like obviously he ended up being fine. There was one spot like when Bret Hart does his like fist from the second rope, he does it to Tully. Tully doesn't sell at all. I'm like, did he knock him out? He doesn't sell at all. He's like, whatever. There, he doesn't even like flinch.
Maybe he's just thinking about the next spot, and we're just moving on. I don't know. I mean, they're all moving pretty fast, so I wouldn't be surprised if they missed something here or there because they're all moving pretty quickly in this one. But yeah, so we move on. We throughout the show we check in with Mean Gene as we're one to do. Back in his backstage area. The first one was with Dusty Rhodes here in his full polka dot regalia that Vince McMahon saddled him with. But he's still Dusty Rhodes. I have no idea what he said here. Something about dancing circles around, honky tonk. Come get some. I'm gonna kick your booty. It's Dusty talk. I don't know.
He's gonna beat honky tonk win the match. I'm trying to figure out. Is Dusty Rhodes like? Is he trying to? Are they trying to make him do like an Adrian Street, like gimmick or Adonis? Is he meant to be gay?
I think he's meant to be like perusing gay bars. Yeah, it's really weird. Because, or like part of like the village people, like the cop in the village.
He's got the police hat. He's got the cop hat on.
Yeah, he's got a cop hat on and like the nightstick. I'm like, what are you, the gay big boss man? Like, what are we doing here? Yeah, it's bizarre. I don't know, but Vince McMahon, I know, saddled him with this. Basically because he was an NWA guy, so he was like, we got him, but I'm just gonna strap him with this and maybe the crowd won't care, but like he's still Dusty, so he still gets the crowd, you know what I mean? Like he still does his thing. So like it didn't quite work, and I think they just like were like, whatever, they just bailed on him like a year later. So this is that brief sort of year period where he's here. But yeah, he cuts a Dusty promo. That's all you need to know. It's a lot of Dusty isms. It leads us into our next match. We've got the Honky Tonk Man, accompanied by Jimmy Hart. I swear Jimmy Hart's like a manager of half the people on the show tonight. It's he's out there all the time. Like same, I think everybody on this show has a manager, and it's either
I think I saw Slick once.
I saw Slick was out there twice. Slick was definitely out there twice. Jimmy Hart was at least out there 4 times, I swear, at least. And then Bobby Heenan was out there at least maybe 3 times. Like, these managers are all over the show tonight. So anyways, Honky Tonk Man out there with Jimmy Hart taking on Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes coming out to like his song he'd have later, so they obviously dubbed it in.
They dubbed that in, yeah. But I like that song, so it's fine because that song's good. But anyways, they start out kind of do a mini little dance off. Honky does his dance. Dusty does his little Dusty strut there. Honky chases after him, but gets backdrop very quickly. Dusty goes for the quick bionic elbow, but Honky's able to powder out and regroup a little bit with Jimmy Hart. Dusty does the dastardly deed where he mushes up Honky's hair, his nice, slickly greased hair, and mushed it up real bad, and that pissed him him off something wicked. But he gets hit with an atomic drop. Dusty hits a elbow to the top of the head, goes up for the 10 punches. He then starts twisting the foot of Honky, kind of like putting on a bit of a submission hold. But Honky rakes the eyes and takes over. Jimmy Hart tries to trip Dusty, but Dusty goes and chases him around, kind of runs after him a little bit. But that allows the referee to get distracted by Jimmy Hart. And while the ref's distracted, Honky grabs the megaphone and hits Dusty in the gut with that dastardly megaphone. So he starts to take over here. Jimmy Hart hits a couple more cheap shots while the ref is with Honky Tonk Man. Honky puts on a very long sleeper. I found it hilarious that he's in the sleeper and Dusty's like trying to dance out of it. I thought that was entertaining and amusing. Like he's starting to kind of do his little like Dusty wiggle as he's like getting back up. I thought that I would laughed out loud a couple of times. This match is pretty entertaining. Again, it's kind of a goofy like character match, but it's entertaining. I was having fun.
Jesse Ventura was funny in this. He goes, I had Dusty entered a bodybuilding contest and a beauty contest, and he won he won the award for most abs.
Oh yeah, no, not the chiseled abs, just most abs. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, he's very funny. So Dusty tries to charge at Honky, but Honky gets kind of a knee to the gut, puts him back in the sleeper again, but can't get the 3 arms down. Dusty is able to break out of that, Honky tries to drop a couple of quick elbows, but he misses. Dusty's rolling around, able to get out of the way, pushes Honky into the corner. Honky tries to punch out of it, but Dusty hitting his jabs, hitting his palm thrust. He's flip-flopping and flying a little bit, but Honky reverses an Irish whip and sends Dusty plowing into the ref. This is one of like 3 ref bumps tonight. There was an absurd amount of ref bumps on this show. I swear there was like 3 different matches with ref bumps tonight. I don't know if they didn't have their production meeting and decided on some finishes, but yeah, this is the first of a couple tonight. So while the referee is down, Honky picks up Dusty, kind of walks him over to the apron. Jimmy's got the guitar. He's going to try to hit Waffle Dusty with the guitar, but he misses, and Waffles Honky on the top of the head with the guitar. And while he's down, Dusty's able to hit his big, falling bionic elbow, wakes up the referee, and he gets the 3 count with the bionic elbow. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't go super long. It's like 7 minutes or something. But yeah, it's a total like character, professional wrestling match. But I thought it was really entertaining. I was entertained. I always like Dusty, and I think Honky's kind of overselling a lot, but in like a fun way. And they both have these like over the top personalities. I thought it was entertaining. What do you think, Richie? I had fun with it.
Yeah, when Honky came to, Tony said that Honky doesn't know where it is. He thinks Jimmy is like Priscilla.
He's like Lisa Marie or something. Jimmy was like Lisa Marie. Lisa Marie, we gotta go back to Graceland or something like that. Yeah, he's just like kind of concussed. Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed this, but when he hit him with the guitar, it didn't break. I don't know if it was meant to break. It didn't actually break initially on his head.
Yeah. I don't know if he gimmicked it as well as like Jeff Jarrett would later. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, the announcer said it broke, but then I watched the replay. I'm like, no, it didn't.
They showed a shot of it, and the panel was off of it, but I don't know if that was like after the fact or he stepped on it. I don't know what happened. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this was a fun match. But yeah, it's just that Dusty was over, but not as over as he could have been coming from NWA. You know what I mean? Like he could have been like bigger star. It was just like it's just should have been more over for a Dusty match. But it was fun for what it is. It's a good comedy match. The crowd definitely popped really big when he did win. They woke up like, oh shit.
No, I mean they like seeing Honky get hit with his own guitar. That's always going to get a pop when the heel gets hit with their own gimmick or whatever. So I mean they popped for that and had a little fun with that. So yeah, I mean the right guy went over. So good stuff there. Back to Mean Gene. He's with Demolition and King Hacksaw, who's got a goofy hockey mask on like Jason and a crown. He looks weird.
Like a second, I thought he was like doing blackface and
yeah. So, but yeah, they cut a promo. I didn't write down everything they say. It's
it's just a typical 80s promo.
They're growling into the camera.
Very smash sounding like Robert Kennedy Jr.
Yeah. Yeah, so they got their promo, do their thing. And then we go back to the ring for match number 3. As we got Mr. Perfect, who's already in the ring. It doesn't even get an entrance, which is kind of bizarre. But yeah, he's already in the ring. Jesse Ventura mentions that he has a perfect record since he's been wrestling, so he is undefeated. And his opponent is the Red Rooster, Terry Taylor. One of our favorite gimmicks. Oh, that rooster. He's doing his little rooster bob, and yeah. So, anyways, yeah, they lock up, a couple of snapped arm drags, a couple of hip tosses. Finally, Rooster fights back with a big right hand. There's a couple of leapfrogs back and forth. A good little sequence where they're doing some back and forth kind of drop downs, leapfrogs. Some good athletic stuff here. Goes for a body slam, but Perfect counters out of the body slam into a kind of a crossbody fall for a 2 count. Some chops and a standing drop kick from Perfect. Everything he hits looks really good here. I mean, obviously it's Mr. Perfect. He's pretty great. Rooster goes for the eyes, actually, which surprises Jesse and whatnot. He complains about that because Rooster, I think, is supposed to be the baby face here, and he's like, yeah, and he's cheating left and right in this match. It's kind of bizarre. Yeah, because he's intentionally just, raking eyes and sending Perfect outside. So, Jesse's all over him saying, well, you get what you deserve, when he then loses the match. And again, he's not wrong. So they brawl briefly ringside. He kind of lays him out into the apron. Perfect gets back in, pulls Rooster back into the ring, and pretty abruptly hits the Perfect Plex and just gets the 3 count. And that's that. It only goes about 3 minutes. Seems like they definitely got their time cut, maybe because of the opening match. Because it's kind of an abrupt ending. He just pulls him in, hooks him, hits the Perfect Plex, and that'll do it. So not much to say here, Richie. But any thoughts on this one? I mean, it's very short.
I don't know. Just like, okay, I guess it's early on in Perfect's run, but it's like, I don't know. Did this match need to be at SummerSlam? I feel like this is a waste of Perfect.
Yeah, there's like 2 or 3 matches on here that I think there's 10 matches total. You could have easily whittled this down to 7 matches, I think, on this card. There's a few of them I think you could have chiseled away and you would have been fine.
Yeah, because like the crowd was kind of dead this match.
It's a superstars match. It should have been like superstars. 100%.
No one cared about Terry Taylor. No one gave a shit.
Rooster.
Yeah, we're talking about the Red Rooster right now, JPO. We'll tell you Terry Taylor. Yeah.
So I guess we're supposed to cheer for Terry Taylor. We don't give a shit about him. So when obviously they were booing Mr. Perfect, but when he hit the Perfect Plex and won, like, yay, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. All right. Anyways, moving on. So yeah, not much to say there. So we're moving on to that was match number 3, JPO. If you're following along here, we're moving on to right before we get to match number 4, we're back to Mean Gene. He's with Rick Rude and Bobby the Brain Heenan. They're talking about the Warrior. Rick calls him the ultimate liar, and that Rick Rude will be the ultimate Intercontinental Champion. And then Heenan said some stuff about he's got all this makeup, but after the show he's gonna have black and blue eyes tomorrow after what Rick Rude does to him. So setting up for our match that we'll have later. But before we get to that, we've got first of 2 6-man tag team matches here. We got the Rockers, Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels, very young Shawn Michaels, obviously, 1989, teaming up with Tito Santana, Arriba, taking on Rick Martel and the Rougeau brothers, Shock and Raymond Rougeau, with Slick and Jimmy Hart. Once again, Jimmy Hart managing yet another team. I found it like...
I'm going to say real quick.
Yeah.
I looked it up real quick. Red Rooster, you think... Well, it is very short-lived. Shows you how much these wrestled back in the day. Over 200 Red Rooster matches. I would have thought way less.
I mean, I guess
they wrestled a lot.
Well, that's what I mean. They were wrestling 4 or 5 times a week around this time. So I mean, if you include all the
that's only because it is technically only 88 to 90. So I'm just saying, like, you would think that would, but yeah, that's 200 matches. Goddamn.
Does it have the stat of how much he won?
I could, but I don't want to. No, in fact, just looking at pay. He got some wins. Let's see. Red Rooster defeated Al Perez on a house show. Good for him. He got a win over the Brooklyn Brawler. He beat Bob Bradley. I see here.
Very prestige. Yes, very much so.
He defeated Conquistador Uno. That's pretty cool.
Hell yeah. I was just going to say, Why is Slick managing Canadian Rougeau brothers?
I was about to say that seems weird. It's just like
it's bizarre. Yeah.
Sometimes in the 80s, 90s, they just be like, who do we got? Who needs a manager? Slager with this fucker.
Yeah, you're with this guy. Yeah, it's bizarre. We were talking about when you were gone. Every match, it seems like Jimmy Hart wrestles like 4 different people on the show. Bobby Heenan has like 3
another good
different
example.
people. Slick has at least twice. Like they're all over the show. The 3 managers. So yeah, they're just everybody has a manager here. It's kind of
felt like what they did. You were playing like one of the video games, right? Whatever, 2K, and then you just go, okay, this person versus this person manager, and then you press square for random. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you can be the best person.
So yeah, we got this 6-man tag team matchup here. So Tito and Jacques kick things off. Jacques, by the way, might better know as the Mountie. He would go on to be the Mountie. He's the Mountie. Anyways, they get things started here. He gets some double hip tosses here. Tito's firing up, tosses one, or excuse me, the Rockers come in. It's kind of a wild start, but they did a crazy spot where the Rockers tossed Tito into the Rougeau brothers, like lawn darted him into his whole body. That was kind of bizarre. Just like, hey, we're going to throw you into that guy. So then Genetti's in there with Jacques. They go back and forth a little bit. There's a tag into Ray. Ray comes in, hits a nasty looking side kick to the gut of Marty, takes over a little bit, starts to work over Genetti. Marty fights back with a big standing drop kick and tags in Tito. Tito comes in, fires up with a couple of clotheslines. Jacques, though, grabs his foot, and Ray, hits a big knee to the back. They beat up on Tito for a little while. Martel comes in and kind of stomps a mud hole in him in the corner. Tag back into Jacques. There's some corner attacks on Tito. He tries to fight back, but Jacques pulls him down by his hair, hits another big drop kick right there in the middle of the ring. They kind of work on Tito for a big chunk of the middle of this match here. Tito's the man in peril here. It's a really long. It felt like they were beating him up for like an hour. Like it took forever before he finally got this hot tag. But yeah, they put a Boston Crab on him. But Jacques, right as Tito's about to fight out of that, gets another knee to the back, cheap shotting him out of there so he can't go make the tag. Jacques does an abdominal stretch. They do the classic thing where the referee can't see them, pulling on the ropes, or the other tag partner, give him the extra leverage there. Martel tags back in and stops Tito from again crawling over and making that tag. They do this spot several times where Tito almost makes a tag, almost makes it. It's like one too many almost, because they do it like 6 times. I'm like, all right, can you just make the tag already? We just move on with this match a little bit. Not that it was boring. It was just like I was kind of ready for him to just make the tag already. So Tito eventually gets a crossbody off the ropes. Jacques breaks up the pin. Couple more double teams on Tito. Once again, stop him from making the tag after he gets a flash kind of pin attempt off the sunset flip. Jacques hits a diving back elbow for 2, and then a high knee. He goes to hit a high knee, but accidentally hits Raymond, his own brother. So Tito finally gets the tag into Shawn Michaels. Shawn comes in. He's a big house of fire, hits a backdrop, drop kick to Rick Martel, snap vertical suplex, hits a big diving fist off the top rope. There's a double team to Rick, but only gets a 2. All 6 guys kind of come in. There's a big kind of a schmaz back and forth. They're all kind of brawling here. Tito hits a big flying forearm to Rick, and his flying forearm always looked great. He had one of the best in the business for sure. So he hits that big flying forearm to Martel. Marty reverses a victory roll attempt, but Martel hits Marty with something. It looked like just a punch, but he may have had a foreign object. It's hard to tell. They didn't.
I don't know. There was something where he did something heelish, and then he did this goofy ass dance, which made me laugh hysterically.
Yeah, it was like he was holding the pin. He flies in, hits him from the side. I don't know if he had something in his hand or not. I'm not sure, but he gets the 3 count off of that. And yeah, that's it. So. Yeah, it
was clear that they were running out. You were talking about the other one running short of time. I think this was too, because they did that and they immediately to the back.
And to the back, yeah. It was like a Russo show. It was and to the back immediately. So I mean, not a bad little match. I think it just kind of goes a little long in the middle with the Tito heat. I kind of would have gotten, maybe another tag, maybe to Marty or Shawn in between there. But it still had a lot of energy, for what it was. But yeah, not the greatest 6-man I've ever seen. What do you think, Richie?
Yeah, no, it was all right. Yeah, the finish just felt abrupt. I was just like, oh, okay, that's it. Like you get pinned off that, all right. But yeah, and that was just like, yeah, and because I found it interesting because like, then you just hear this now, but like, yeah, all through the show when the match would finish, like Tony Schiavone would be like, and now we go to the official announcement, like just to say, like that someone's won, which is like I didn't think that was like a very important thing. But like it's like so yeah, well, they didn't even do that. Like and let's move to the next match, and then they built forward to Rude and and Ultimate Warrior. So yeah, but like the match was fine. Yeah, there was one spot where Rick Martel does something else, and he has this goofy ass smile on his face. He's like just dancing. And I'm like, it's so dorky, and I kind of
No, he's a big dork in this match. Yeah, he's a huge dork. His character even is. For sure.
Yeah, I was like, it made me laugh more than I should have. Like, okay, yeah, maybe like a dorky Rick, like dork in the same vein as Ricochet, that kind of dork.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but I don't know. It was all right, but obviously, you probably wouldn't know back then what a big star Shawn Michaels probably become. Obviously, he's quite good. Obviously, he's great in this match, and obviously Michael's journey. But yeah, but it was fine.
Yeah. Anything for us, JPO, about any of these guys here in the six man?
Let's do some quick trivia for you guys. Who is the most recently active of these six?
Got to be Jacques or something like that, right? It's got to be.
Richie? Who'd you say?
Marty Jannetty.
Incorrect. Tito Santana. It last wrestled in 2022. Defeats them all. Marty Jannetty gets second place with the 2018 match. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Interesting. All right. How old is Tito now? Like, would he be like 60 in that match? He's got to be, right?
He's like 72 at the moment. He's a year older than Hogan. Yeah.
So he wrestled when he was like, so he's like 69 in that match. Jeez. Okay. Is he pulling like a Dory Funk Jr.? What are we doing here over in Japan?
I knew he was definitely doing stuff in his 50s and 60s. I thought he might have still been active because I knew the dude was doing it up till, like I said, he's only 3 years ago.
Yeah.
That old person battle, that gauntlet that GCW had.
Yeah. If he's still wrestling it then, yeah, might as well put him in there. Yeah, we get a very long sort of a recap, video package recapping Rude and Warriors a feud here, and it was really good. They hit a lot of the kind of big moments over the last like 6 months or so. The initial attack where Rude took him out with like this weight bar. They covered the WrestleMania screw job where Warrior lost the IC title to Rude when Bobby Heenan kind of held his feet down. So they covered that. Covered some of the Saturday Night's Main Event and Superstar stuff, just some of the attacks, back and forth and whatnot. A little bit of Andre's involvement, some of the other Heenan family. Yeah, it was a really solid like getting you kind of caught up on everything if you missed anything. So kudos to them. Yeah, it was a really good and got me a little more invested in this one. So yeah, good stuff. Yeah, our match number 6 is for the Intercontinental title. Ravishing Rick Rude, of course, out there with Bobby the Brain Heenan, taking on the Ultimate Warrior, who is looking to gain his belt back. Yeah, so we kick things off. Rude goes to kick Warrior a couple of times, but it has no effect on the Ultimate Warrior here. A couple of punches, also no effect. Warrior clotheslines Rude over the top rope, and then Rude goes for a sunset flip, but that backfires on him. And then Warrior picks up Rude with that big gorilla press, and the gorilla presses him all the way to the outside. So crowd's going nuts for this, really enjoying it. There's a brawl on the outside, and this is where Jesse went crazy because right in the middle of this, they go over to the timekeeper's table, and they're on the outside. Warrior grabs the IC title belt and hits Rude in the back with it. Yeah, he hits him in the back with it. Jesse starts freaking out. Well, how is that not a disqualification? Tony then says,
"We got to be in the ring."
Tony then says it's because they're on the outside of the ring, to which Jesse goes, "Oh, so does that mean you can just shoot a guy on the outside of the ring and it doesn't matter?" I'm like, what the hell is that? You're an idiot.
Yeah. I was like, yes, exactly. I mean, what?
Yeah, so Jesse Ventura is 100% right. He just used a foreign object. He should have absolutely been disqualified here, but I guess he just let it go, to see it. So, anyways, yeah, after Jesse kind of calms down, they get back into it. Back in the ring, he quickly tosses Rude, kind of back out, hits a body slam on the floor. Warrior goes up top and hits a big double sledge off the top, but only gets a 2 count. Warrior hits another body slam for a 2, a suplex for a 2. He mocks Rude doing his kind of little, Rick Rude dance a little bit. It goes up top again, but Bobby's able to get a distraction, and Rude is able to crotch him on the top rope and knock him down. So this is where Rude kind of takes over a little bit. Hits some forearms to the back of Warrior, a snap suplex for 2. Rude hits some shots to the back as well, again for 2, really working over his back here. Goes for the Rude Awakening, the neck breaker, but Warrior's able to kind of power out, but Rude hops up on his back and tries to like a piggyback sleeper hold. Warrior pulls it into a chin breaker, and then shoulder tackles Rude into Joey Morella. It's our second ref bump of the night. This will not be our only one. This will be our second of like 3 tonight. Again, I went a little heavy on the ref bumps tonight.
These refs getting away, man.
Yeah, they're just getting in the way here. Warrior fires up, though. He hits a big backdrop, clotheslines him 3 times. Crowd's going crazy for the Warrior comeback here. Big power slam, but there's no referee. Warrior hits a pile driver, really nice looking pile driver on Rick Rude. But he pulls him over there, gets the cover. Morella rolls up, but Rude at the very last second gets his foot on the bottom rope. That was a good little tease for the finish, though. So he gets his foot on the rope there. Warrior then hits a running power slam and tries the big splash off the ropes, but Rick Rude gets his knees up and is able to block it. Rude then hits, it looks like it's going to be a powerbomb, but it looks like a tiger driver. I swear he hits him with a tiger driver.
He had a tiger driver 97.
Yeah, he had a tiger driver 91 on this. Yeah, he picks him up and he's kind of like half there and then just kind of drops him. Yeah, I swear he hit a tiger driver. That's what I wrote. But he only gets a 2 count. Rude goes up to the top rope, hits a fist to the gut off the top, also for a 2. Roddy Piper then makes his way down to the ringside area. In the middle of the ring as this is happening, Rude hits his own pile driver, but only gets a 2 count. Rude is then distracted by Piper. They start going back and forth. Piper moons him with flipping that kilt up, again, distracting Rude. Rude goes up top. He's standing on the second rope yelling at Piper, in the aisleway. Warrior then grabs him from behind and hits a second rope German suplex to Rick Rude. Again, crowd's going nuts for this. They're having a great time. He then fires up, hits the running shoulder tackle, gorilla press slam, and the big splash for 3. Crowd is going absolutely bonkers. Warrior picks up the 3 count. IC title match. I don't know if I'm doing it justice. This match was fucking awesome. I loved this match. This match was the shit. This match was great. The crowd had like insane energy for it. I think they played Warrior's like strengths like perfectly in this match. Rude sold his ass off when he needed to. He controlled the match when he needed to. Anybody who said this is like one of Warrior's best matches is not lying. This absolutely is. Rude got the best out of him. I thought this was the best match on the show, like by a mile. I fucking loved this match like way more than I thought I would. Going into it, because Warrior can be very hit or miss, obviously, but goddamn was this match like fire, man. I thought this was really entertaining, especially the last like 3 or 4 minutes. Crowd was just nice little roller coaster ride. Yeah, some of the moves that they pulled out like tiger drivers and second rope Germans and they're hitting pile drivers, like it's pretty great. So I don't know, am I overhyping Richie? I thought this match was really entertaining. I thought it was great.
I loved it because I'm like, I was almost frustrated how much I liked it. I'm like, where was this Ultimate Warrior the whole career?
Yeah, damn.
Like, you can do a pile drive, you can do German suplexes and pile drivers. I don't, whip them out occasionally, but like not like I like motivated Ultimate Warrior. Like you're not like as bad as people say. When you're kind of motivated, but yeah, this match ruled. But yeah, the tiger driver kind of threw me. Was that a tiger driver? That's weird. That's interesting. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me to the Ultimate Warrior whether he just saw the Intercontinental title and he was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do that. And that's why the ref didn't count. Well, it was like that wasn't part of the spot, and I'm not gonna. You went to win, so I'll pretend I didn't see it. But yeah, so that was solid. And then Jesse the heel being Captain Logic, like he would be in 2025 as well. It's fucking
Yeah.
But this match ruled. I was like, oh yeah, it's probably the best Ultimate Warrior match I've seen.
No, this match was fucking great. It was awesome. So JPO, anything on either one of these guys for us? What you got, huh?
Yeah, I kind of like that we were saying how it's a little bit of a longer match for Warrior. Yeah, it does go down as his fourth longest singles match. Other than a couple of random house shows, but like yeah, him and Savage at Mania went a little bit longer, and then he had a couple other ones too here. But yeah, it is decently reviewed, almost 4 stars by Meltzer back in the day, but 3.5. It's still pretty high for a Warrior match. So yeah.
I go way higher. I honestly, I swear to you, I got super. I would give it like 4.5. I love this match. I thought this match was great. Like I thought this was excellent, especially again that last couple of minutes. Crowd was great. Yeah, this is the best I've seen Warrior look as far as like them using his to his strengths. A bit of a bummer note, JPO. I think me and Richie we were talking beforehand. Everybody involved in this match is deceased now, which bums me out. Everybody. So Ultimate Warrior is gone. Rick Rude is gone. Bobby Heenan's gone. The ref, Joey Morella, gone. Roddy Piper, gone. Like everybody pretty much involved in this match, unfortunately, is no longer with us, which bumps me out. So yeah.
Oh, I meant to say too. I saw at the beginning where Shivani pay-per-view is for WWF.
Yeah, Shivani and Jesse. Yeah, this was that weird like 1 year or 6 month period or something where he was with them for a little while. Because we were talking about, I swear we watched like a Clash of the Champions or something in like 1990, and it's Tony Schiavone and Jesse Ventura in WCW like a year later. It's weird. Yeah.
It's just a weird gap. Yeah, especially for Schiavone, it's very short lived. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very short lived. But they were good. Like Schiavone was good here. He played off of Jesse. Jesse clowns him for being like a nerd the whole show. So it's good back and forth. Yeah, we go back to Mean Gene. He's with Mr. This is a bizarre back and forth because like 5 different people come in this segment. It like transfers from one to the other. Because we start out with Mean Gene with Mr. Perfect, just kind of commenting about how he's still perfect. You know, he's putting everybody on notice. Roddy Piper just steps in and starts doing Piperisms and just yelling at random people, just doing his Piper thing. And then all of a sudden, yeah, he's happy about costing Rude. He doesn't care about Rude. He's happy he did it. He'd do it again. Ronnie Garvin then steps in the shot, and he's going to be like he's an announcer now, like he's a ring announcer. So it's a little bizarre. We'll see more of that in a little bit. Then Heenan comes stumbling in. He's exasperated. He's out of breath. He's going crazy about what happened out there with Roddy Piper. He's yelling about Piper. He's yelling about Warrior. All that just absolutely losing his mind. Him and Rick Rude. So yeah, it's kind of like it just everybody from all the previous matches just kind of like stumbles into this thing. It's just all cut in like mini promos. It's entertaining. It was just kind of weird. I was like, oh, okay, we're going to this one. Oh, now this person. Oh, not this person. It was just weird.
Again, it felt like they were like felt like they're going to run up against time. They're like, hey, let's just do it all in one thing.
Do it all in one shot. Yeah, we can't. You guys can't have your own segments. Like we're running along here. So yeah, because there's 10 matches on the show.
I wouldn't because I know that the what I've what like Roddy Piper's like as well, like just throughout history. It also I wouldn't be shocked if Roddy Piper was just like walking backstage and he saw the mic and he just like did business for himself and cut a promo.
I'm just gonna cut a 30-second promo for myself.
Kind of a creepy thing that made me laugh earlier in a morose way. I'm reading all the tweets by people, and all of a sudden I see Roddy Piper. I'm like, how the fuck did he tweet? Like his account, I guess, is still active and run by out of his family or friends. But for a second, I'm like, Piper tweeted? How?
Yikes. So we've got our next 6-man tag team matchup here. Again, another one that could probably cut, if you had to cut some matches off of here, probably this one. But yeah, you got Andre the Giant and the Twin Towers of Akeem, the African Dream, and the Big Boss Man. So yeah, they touted as kind of maybe the biggest, 3-man tag team here they've ever had. Lots of big men here. Taking on Demolition of Axe and Smash and their partner King, Jim Duggan. And he finally takes off his crown and his master reveal. He's got like Demolition style paint, but it's the American flag like all over his face. So he's got his face paint on for the match here. So a lot of big men in this one. Hacksaw and Akeem kind of kick things off here. There's some lefts and rights to Akeem as Duggan fires up on him. Axe comes in and chops the hell out of Akeem. They're just wailing on Akeem for a little while, kind of in the middle of the ring as he kind of sells left and right. So they pound on him for a little bit. Axe hits a big back elbow. Bossman tags in. Has a big fight with Smash in the middle of the ring. Duggan then comes back in, works on the Bossman a little bit. Axe gets a tag, gets caught in the corner, fights out of that. But Andre finally gets involved in the match, comes in and sits on Axe repeatedly, kind of using the ropes, just kind of sitting on him over and over again. Chokes him in the ropes. He doesn't do a lot here. Again, around this time, he was starting to kind of lose a lot of his mobility. He wasn't as mobile. He couldn't move as much, so he was just kind of there, does a few spots here and there.
It was like what Yokozuna would do before, around his like time when he was losing, where you'd like use the ropes.
Using the ropes a lot, just kind of make sure he doesn't fall over, and I get it. So Smash comes in, he gets the big hot tag, slams. He does a pretty expressive. He slams Akeem, body slams Akeem, who's not a small man at all. Slams him, and then subsequently slams the big boss man. He goes to slam Andre as well, but Andre can't get it. Andre cuts him off there, so he doesn't get the hat trick there. Big brawl in the middle of the ring, but it all kinds of ends when Duggan behind the referee's back hits Akeem with the 2x4 in the back, and Smash gets the 3 count. So, there's kind of not a whole lot to talk about here. I mean, there's a lot of just big dudes just kind of smashing into each other for 6-7 minutes, and then just, but the crowd seemed to enjoy it by the end of it. They liked seeing Akeem get willed on, and, they like to see the baby faces get the win here. So
the baby faces cheated. Yeah,
the baby faces cheated with a foreign object. Yay. So cool. I don't think there's hardly a clean finish on this damn show. There's either like foreign objects or ref bumps or, distractions from other people. Like there's a lot of like shenanigans on this show. There's not really any clean finishes here, but Richie.
It's funny if like Hacksaw like took off the mask and revealed he wasn't actually Hacksaw at all. What the hell, Road Warrior Hawk? What are you doing it? But this is fine. I mean, it's cool. It's always like we talked about when we were doing a tribute to Hogan. It's like it was always just good to see Andre. I mean, if you're sort of watching back then, I'd probably get harder to see him just because you're just watching a man deteriorate like in front of your eyes. But like he's still like a sort of Marvel, kind of a specimen. So it's always good to see him in whatever capacity he can. So it was what it was. I wasn't expecting a lot from it. I think you get what you can for it, and the crowd was into it. So it was it was fine.
Yeah, JPO, you got anything on any of these gentlemen here?
No, I was gonna say how long the King Duggan thing lasted because I remember the face paint, but it doesn't last that long. But there is a big rubber guy action figure for Duggan in that face paint as a variant.
Oh, is it? Okay. Gotcha. And Demolition should be in the Hall of Fame, by the way. What the hell are we doing?
Yeah, I thought they were going to go in this year. But no.
It's bizarre they're not in here.
So they did sign the action figure deal, which does show that like the gates are opening up a little bit. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if there are inductions in 2026. Because undoubtedly, I think
100%. They should be the tag team next year. Yeah, if they're going to do a tag, come on, get Demolition in there. Yeah.
No offense to like Tugboat, and I just think that like I wouldn't have probably put them I would have put Earthquake in as a singles person, as opposed to just them as a tag team. But
I don't mind either way. I think they're kind of up there. But I mean, if you look at again, I want Lindsay Reign, multiple tag title reigns. I think they're definitely been skewed for a while now.
Yeah, for sure. So we get Ronnie Garvin coming out as the guest ring announcer for the next match. And it was bizarre, but I can't say I hated it, Richie, because he comes out, he's got this kind of very like droll way of announcing. So he announces Hercules, and then who he's feuding with, Greg Valentine. He adds a lot of this Michael Buffer-esque stuff on it, but in the form of insults, where he's calling Greg Valentine, he looks like he's 30 pounds overweight. He's saying that little pipsqueak nerd, Jimmy Hart. He's kind of like, he's adding like all these insults before he finally actually announces Valentine, getting them all riled up and whatnot. So it was kind of funny for what it was. Like I didn't know what to expect from it. But the gimmick is he's just there to like taunt, Valentine with a nasty intro. It was kind of
It's funny and random, but I do wonder, like, how do you get approval for this? It's just like, I want to be a ring announcer. Okay.
It's like okay, I guess we have nothing else for you to do tonight.
It was certainly less random. Remember what I think it was our first retro we did on the show, where like at Backlash 2000, randomly Deborah was the announcer.
Oh yeah, it was just like a random ring announcer for like 2 matches. Yeah, that was bizarre. Yeah,
at least it served a purpose.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So match number 8, we got Hercules taking on Greg the Hammer Valentine, again with Jimmy Hart, who's once again out there for about the 4th time in the show. This was pretty short. Hercules kind of runs roughshod on Greg for a little bit. He hits a big slam for 2. Greg powders out after getting taken advantage of there. Comes back in. There's a schoolboy for 2. They brawl at ringside a little bit. Greg cuts off Hercules with a couple of elbows. Hercules then cuts off Greg with off the top rope. There's a couple of forearms to the head. Hercules hits a big standing kind of delayed vertical suplex. There's a struggle in the corner, back and forth, and then just out of nowhere, Hammer just does a kind of a double leg, puts the feet up on the ropes, and that's it. It's about 3 minutes. that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Just like that. And after the match, Valentine goes to lay out Ronnie Garvin on the outside, but then he comes back in and hits a big right hand on him, and there's just kind of a little schmoz between the two of them, probably setting up a future match. So, not much to talk about there. It's kind of the worst match on the show, pretty easily.
Again, maybe it's just because it's like they maybe did things differently in like '89, but it's like if the big feud is Ronnie Garvin and Valentine, then why didn't you do that match on the show? Why did you do thing with Hercules?
This seems like it would be the setup match on like a Superstars that would lead into the Ronnie Garvin, Greg Valentine SummerSlam match. You know what I mean? Like this should be like the setup match that gets you there, because clearly they're gunning for that. But they're doing a TV setup match on a pay-per-view, which again, there's 10 matches on this card. Yeah, if you're gonna cut something to Superstars or Saturday Night's Main Event like this. The Red Rooster Perfect thing could have easily been a TV match like on Superstars, like very easily. Like cut a few of these things and trim it down a little bit. But not much to talk about here. It was like a TV setup match. It was weird.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I don't want to see like a long Hercules match. He's not great. So, it's what it is.
Yeah, it's fine.
I always love his look, though. His look always intrigued me. The second 3-minute match tonight, too, by the way. Yeah, there's a couple. This is the second 3-minute one. Yeah.
Yeah, he was better in Mid-South. He was in Mid-South for a little while, and Hercules, he got used really well there as kind of a big monster for a little while. That's like where they built him up, and then they brought him to work Hogan, and then I think after that, they just didn't know what to do with him. After that, they just didn't have much else for him, so he just kind of tooled around on the mid-card for a while. So we're getting to our penultimate match here, our semi-main event, if you will. I mean, realistically, if you're looking at the card. So we got Ted DiBiase, of course, out there with Virgil. He's the self-proclaimed $1 million champion, taking on Superfly Jimmy Snuka here. Ted tries to fire up on Superfly real quick, but Snuka hits his big thrusts and chops, and is able to thwart the early attack here. DiBiase accidentally hits Virgil, who's up on the apron, knocks him down. Jimmy then fights back with an atomic drop and sends Ted over the top rope. Ted's sell, by the way, for this atomic drop was great because like Snuka hits him with the atomic drop and he does like the huge like bump over the ropes, like out to the floor, like the big like over the top one. But like DiBiase was a really underrated seller. Like he's a great seller in this match. So if you just watch like the way he gets the most out of a lot of like little moves, it's pretty good. He's really underrated.
We don't see that anymore. We don't see the atomic drops much anymore. We don't see the itself the atomic drop.
I think if somebody did a spot like that nowadays, it would get a reaction. Like if somebody did it right, like big, like he did it here, I think it would still get a pop. So
that's it. comedic character, like doing the stuff of that. Like, I don't know.
MJF could do this spot. If somebody did this to MJF and he took the big sell, like people would like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like somebody like that, like somebody that works kind of old school style.
Yeah.
It would work. So they kind of try to do some leapfrog spots here. Snuka botches one terribly as he tries to do like a backwards, leapfrog. He just lands right on top and splats on top of DiBiase here. So they just flat out just botched the leapfrog spot here. So Ted works back up, hits some clubbing blows to his back. Snuka reverses an Irish whip and hits a backdrop. DiBiase hits a huge stun gun to Snuka. I remember Steve Austin used to use this in ECW, kind of like the almost like the flapjack into the ropes. They call it a stun gun.
I like that quite a bit.
Yeah. So he called it a stun gun, so that's what I'm gonna call it. Ted then hits a suplex, a knee to the back. He hits a big backbreaker for a 2 count. He misses a back elbow. Snuka is able to headbutt him and hits a second rope headbutt. Goes up to the top rope, but Virgil stops him from hitting the Snuka splash. Then DiBiase sends Snuka into the post on the outside, and just out of nowhere, I didn't even know the ref was counting. There's a count out, and Snuka gets counted out. So, okay. Yeah. And the match is over. Yeah, fucking lame. So Snuka, I guess, got counted out during that schmoz. And then after the match, Snuka's able to supervise splash on Virgil. That's it. So, yeah. Not much else to say, Richie. Yeah.
Is someone like not timekeeping the show? Because it feels like matches just end abruptly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I expect more out of these two. They're very capable. While it was going, it was all right. But yeah, just ends.
Oh shit, we got to take it home. Count out. All right, get the fuck out of there. We got to get to the main. Yeah.
Okay.
Got anything for us there at all?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, according to they don't on cage match if it's less than 5 minutes, they don't let people give it ratings because they figure how do you rate a 5 minute or less match? But for everything else that is over 5, which is the rest of the card, except for those 2 that we mentioned, Valentine and Hercules and Perfect Rooster, this is the lowest rated match on cage match. People don't like this match.
Well, I think it's just because it has a lame finish and just kind of ends abruptly. Yeah. I mean, it's not bad while it's going. Yeah, these 2, if you gave them 10, 12 minutes, they could have a really solid match here. But yeah, it just kind of ends abruptly. It just seems like they just needed to take it home and get to the main event. So probably on a time crunch. But yeah, we get a Hulk Hogan and Brutus the Beefcake promo back with Mean Gene. It's your typical like, oh brother, it's Brutus the Barber. Yeah, what you gonna do when the Barber and the Hulkster the typical.
Also
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's Hulk Hogan. It's entertaining. Like he does his thing. You know what I mean? He doesn't miss a beat. I'll give him that. Like he never misses a beat. He doesn't stumble over his words. Like he's able to get it out there and do his thing. So if you like your standard like Hulk Hogan promo, it works. They do their thing. And then we cut back to the ring, and the show's already long, so let's make sure the genius Lanny Poffo does a poem in the middle of the ring about the main event, which is again, it's really random and bizarre on the show because it's just like all of a sudden, please welcome the genius to read a poem, and he reads a poem about the main event. What?
Again, R.I.P. Another guy who passed away. And stuff so a few years ago, but like, is there a kid gonna get who if this didn't air, be like, I never got to see Lenny Poffo read his poem, and that show sucked. I want to see Lenny Poffo.
Yeah, because he doesn't stick around. He just does his poem and leaves. It's like, all right, cool. So, anyways, Macho Man and Zeus make their way out to the ring. If you don't know, Zeus is literally he's playing his same character he plays in the Holds Barred, same ring gear, everything. It's Tiny Lister, the actor. We talked about Debo from Fridays and The Dark Knight. Yeah, Z Gangster. Yeah, he would go on to be Z Gangster and WCW. Mostly known for his acting, his movie roles. But yes, he stepped in the ring to kind of cross promote No Holds Barred here. So just the movie coming to life here, folks. If you wanted to see that, they are accompanied by Sherry Martel. Oh, I forgot the promo where Sherry and Macho Man and Zeus are standing around a cauldron and like conjuring up like the visions of the match. It's bizarre. It's like she's like they've literally got like a witch's cauldron And Sherry's like, I see Hulk Hogan laying on his back, staring at the thing, and they cut to Macho Man. Oh yeah, I see the Hulk Hogan. You're gonna get it from the Zeus a year, just doing his typical like Macho Man. And then Zeus, they just keep zooming in on his face. And Tiny Lister is kind of cross-eyed anyway, so they just keep going to his eyeball, going back and forth. It's really weird. So
I don't know that's how a cauldron works, you know what I mean? Like I feel like it's like isn't that more like a crystal ball,
a crystal ball, yeah, like a fortune
Oh,
teller thing. Like, are you putting curses on him? Are we Danhausen? Like, what are we doing? It's a little bizarre. But Zeus, pretty much the whole promo, he's just standing there, pulsing and breathing.
yeah.
That's mostly what he does for not only the promo, but like the match, is he holds his arms out, and kind of, just breathes heavy and just, and does this a lot. So
I think
that's what he does.
just said, act mean. And he's like, okay.
Yeah, act mean and don't sell anything. So, that's what happens. We get everybody out. Hogan and Beefcake come out, and they, after they make their entrance, they bring out Miss Elizabeth, who gets a pretty big pop when she comes out. They're happy to see Miss Elizabeth here. So each team has a valet, if you will. We get things started off pretty quickly. There's a brawl in the middle of the ring to get going. Zeus no sells Hogan's right hands there. He goes to the eyes. Hogan tries to body slam him, but Zeus counters out of it. And then he catches Brutus Beefcake coming off the top rope in a bear hug. And this bear hugs and chokes, man. Zeus learned 2 moves, and boy, is he going to use them over and over again. That's what he learned.
2 most boring moves ever.
2 of the most boring moves ever, and that's what he does in this whole match. So we'll return to that here shortly. Hogan tries to hit a running shoulder block, but Zeus is a brick wall. He doesn't go anywhere. He then picks up Hogan and starts the bear hug all over again. Works him over in the corner. Macho Man tags in. It's much better when Macho Man's in there because at least he's working. He's like trying, to make things happen. So he gets in there. He's working around with Hogan. He does a double axe handle, a couple of clotheslines, puts Hogan in a chin lock. Hogan is fading a little bit. And then, but he gets back up. He's able to shoulder block Randy a couple of times. Zeus gets a shot off the apron and gets tagged back in. Another long bear hug because he only learned the 1 move, and goddamn it, he's going to use it. So there's another very, very long bear hug here. He even does it where he's on the mat with him. He puts it into a pin. There's a 2 count. It's what he learned. Hogan eventually fights back into the corner, but he's unable to get a tag. Macho tags in, hangs up Hogan in the ropes. There's a back suplex for a 2 count, but Macho can't quite grab Hogan before he's able to tag, get a desperation tag to Barber. Barber comes in, hits a running knee for a 2 count, puts a sleeper on Macho. The sleeper got a massive pop, man. Fucking, you would never get a pop for a sleeper nowadays like this.
Yeah.
But he puts on the sleeper on Macho Man. But Macho pulls Barber into the turnbuckle, tags Zeus in again. But Brutus jumps on his back and another kind of piggyback sleeper trying to take down the big man here. Macho then comes in and hits Brutus with the purse, Sherry's purse, which we assume is loaded with something. We never really find out, but it's a loaded purse. So he gets smacked there. Macho tags himself in. Hogan is able to stop a couple of pin attempts, though. Another tag on Zeus. He comes in and he doesn't use the bear hug this time, but he just chokes guys on the ropes for a couple of minutes. It's a choke on the ropes, choke in the corner, choke on the ground, just chokes and bear hugs, baby. That's what it's all about. Brutus tries to tag in Hogan, but he's able to Macho out of the way, tags in Hogan. Big pop as Hogan's a house of fire. He hits a running elbow, a couple of shots to Macho, a couple of shots to Zeus, hits the big boot, which sends Macho to the floor. There's a suplex reversal to where Macho gets a 2 count. He is able to go up top and hit a big flying elbow onto Hogan, but Hogan hulks up, baby. That has no effect. He hulks up. He does his thing, brother. He's firing up. Crowd's going crazy. Hogan and Zeus finally face off, but he's hulked up now, so he's got his superpowers. Finally hits the right hands. They have a little bit of effect. Hits a clothesline, still not down. Another clothesline, finally puts him down. Barber steps up to Macho and uses the purse on, He stops Macho Man from using the purse once again and tosses it to Hogan, who then whacks Zeus in the head with the loaded purse. He then body slams Zeus, which gets a big pop. Leg drop follows up. 1, 2, 3. Crowd is going crazy for this, having a good time. Jesse Ventura is going crazy because Hogan and Barber used a foreign object, so he's complaining that they cheated, of course, which he's not incorrect once again.
They did.
He's not wrong. They did. And they corner Sherry, but Hogan, acts like he might do something to her, but instead tosses the purse to Liz, who she hits Sherry with the loaded purse, and that gets a big pop from the crowd. And then afterwards, man, those lovely baby faces are not only do they hit this woman with a foreign object, but they didn't just chop her hair up. Barber does with his shears, chop up her ponytail and cut her. And that's pretty much the end of the show. So, I mean, when Macho was in there, it was okay. You know what I mean? Like working around. Anytime Zeus was in there, it was bear hugs and chokes. It was not very good. He's got a good look, man, but he did not really go out of his way to learn, a whole lot, for this match. It's very, very basic. You can see why this didn't last too long. But Hogan does his Hogan thing. He's over with the crowd. He knows how to get the crowd fired up. Yeah, those final couple of minutes, the crowd is going pretty crazy for the back and forth. It's a good little roller coaster ride with the purse shots and everything. And then finally, the baby faces, they go over to send the crowd home happy. So, again, it's a big sports entertainment main event, has its moments. It's not bad, not great, but it's if you want to see Hogan in his prime, you still get what you want here, Richie. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those ones where fully break down the match, probably not great, but but again, I think part of Hogan match is that you are left, kind of remembering the kind of the kind of baby face, like the comeback, the kind of all the drama that happens, or the heels getting the comeuppance, and just the sort of the crowd going wild, the kind of the cartoonish nature of it all, but it works. And it ends up being fun. You forget that it's not really well, maybe the classically worked match or like wrestling wise. That's sort of it's very, I don't know, it's good, very good, like smoking. It's really good smoking mirrors, I guess.
Well, there's a lot going on, with Sherry and Elizabeth, and like Macho's doing his best to kind of carry at least the work rate, and he gets a break every now and then when Zeus goes in there and chokes for a few minutes. He at least gets a breather, you know what I mean? So but there's a lot of like smoke and mirrors going on with like all the stuff to kind of cover it up,
And because like I found it kind of first. I mean, I obviously knew who BK was for a while, but I first started like watching him like wrestle for a lot when he was in FCW. So it obviously his place on the card had diminished since then, most part. So it is weird seeing him being the baby face, like getting a hot tag. Like,
in the main event, Bruce Beefcake, and then he'd go to WCW and just be like the booty man, and
the
disciple, and just all these like bizarre like mid card gimmicks. It's a little strange. So not bad, not great, but decent little sports entertainment event. JPO, you got anything on any of these guys? Any other Zeus matches around this time, or is he gone pretty much after this? I don't know.
Stop predicting what I'm gonna do the second time I've done that. I was gonna give you the very brief Zeus history, because so it goes from this. You jump only a few months to Survivor Series. He's on Team $1 Million Team along with Barbarian, Warlord, and Ted DiBiase. Shut your bird up. They fight the Hulkamaniacs, Hogan, Axe Smash, and Jake Roberts. I don't know, bird, tea kettle, something going on. And there was No Holds Barred, the match of the movie. This is the steel cage match, the rematch from SummerSlam that they held in December to help hype the movie here. Beefcake and Hogan will win that. He fought Abdullah the Butcher in Puerto Rico, actually, in 1990. That's a random match. And then finally, the one and only WCW appearance. What's that?
I totally want to see the match. It sounds like a cop.
Maybe we'll use it. We'll see if it is possible. And then finally, the one only appearance in WCW as far as wrestling wise is Uncensored '96. Here's the team name: the Alliance to End Hulkamania. Arn Anderson, Kevin Sullivan, Lex Luger, Ming, Ric Flair, Barbarian, Ultimate Solution, and Z Gangster all falling to just Hogan and Savage. So that's your 5-match history of Zeus. And then also, you asked before, or you kind of alluded to before, we're almost halfway there, unfortunately. Yeah, 12 out of 30 of the England competitors that passed away, unfortunately. 12 out of 30 are no longer with us here. As far as SummerSlam goes, though, Savage would go 3-2 at the show. Beefcake actually, I was surprised by this because he's been in multiple manias. No other SummerSlams. Beefcake never got booked at SummerSlam outside of this. And while Undertaker may have Mania, Hogan kind of had SummerSlam. Hogan was undefeated, 7-0. Hogan has a nice SummerSlam record.
Yeah. There you go. Cool. And by the way, Zeus versus Abdullah the Butcher is on YouTube. You can find it from the WWC anniversary show of 1990, and some of them already, even just in the simple thing, worst match ever, Abdullah the Butcher versus Zeus. So that tells you the quality of it.
No.
Probably not good, because I can imagine what does Zeus do? He can only do chokes and bear hugs. Abdullah does the fork. That's all he does. So
yeah, it's a bad. It sounds like a bad combo. Yeah, not that Zeus and anyone is a good combo. That's not a particularly bad combo.
Yeah, I'll have to see it out of curiosity, but yeah.
That uncensored match, that Tower Terror, that match, that's horrendous, by the way. That's one of the worst matches I've seen. You can't see shit. and then they forget the rules of the match, and Randy Savage has to go. They walk out of the structure, and Randy Savage forgets the rules of the match and goes back and pins. It's a mess. But yeah.
Well, it's kind of like a few years later, like 99 or 2000, there was like a steel cage match. It was like Flair and Hogan or something. It's a first blood match, but somebody accidentally starts bleeding, so they just have to turn it into a pin match. Like they accidentally Flair got like accidentally cut open, so they couldn't end the match there. They just had to change it to a pin match on the fly. Yeah, and I feel like that happens a lot in WCW. So Richie, overall, if you had to give this a little ranking out of 10, the pros and the cons of the show, what do you got?
The Rude Warrior match brings it up a little. If that wasn't on here, this would be kind of almost a bad show. If I'm being honest, there's some entertaining things on it. I like the Dusty Honky Tonk match for what it was, and the Hogan match. It's fun just because the crowds are into it. I like the opener for what it is too. I don't know. If I'm being generous, I'll go. Maybe I'll go 6.
I'm kind of in the same territory because it's not like a bad show per se. Like I didn't hate anything on the show. The crowd is hot for the whole thing, so that definitely helps. The crowd is kind of into everybody on the show. The stuff that's solid is solid. The opener. Even some of the 6-man stuff is okay. The Dusty match is entertaining. For what it is, just kind of a character based, just fun match. If there's one thing worth going out of your way to see here, I legit thought Rick Rude and the Ultimate Warrior kind of ruled. That match was awesome. It's worth going out of your way to see. Definitely a top 5 Warrior match for sure. If you're looking to see one of his better matches, it's pretty great. The promos are fun. All the stuff with Mean Gene is always fun. And going back there cutting promos. And the main event is a big smoke and mirrors kind of sports entertainment spectacle. But again, we're talking about Hulk Hogan tonight. You want to see prime Hulk Hogan doing his thing, and by the end, he's got the crowd jumping up and down. Going crazy. For the baby faces, he knew how to do that. You know what I mean? And especially in his prime. So, if you want to see, that, or if you're morbidly curious about Zeus and No Holds Barred, stepping in that ring, there you go. You can go check this out. So, I'm kind of in that.
By the way, Pez,
yeah,
you called it. Richie's every time. If you want to watch Abdullah versus Zeus, I just ran through it 10 seconds, skipping at a time. It literally on Zeus's end, it's strikes, clobbers, and the bear hug about 7 times, and that's fucking it. Holy shit. The high spot came, Abdullah dropped an elbow at one point. That looked like the high spot. So, save your time. It's about 10 minutes of that.
Sounds about right.
Watch 2 minutes of it, you'll get the gist.
I actually refed one Abdullah Butcher match one time for Frank Goodman down in Orlando. I did one time, and it was a disaster, a complete and utter disaster. He worked Lou Cipher, if you remember. He was a big, tall guy, he did like a Lucifer, Satan gimmick. So he works this match. Lou is in the ring, and I was like cool with Lou, like we were always cool, but he was like, oh man, I don't know, like this is gonna work, but whatever, we're just gonna brawl around. They hadn't really called anything. It's a false count anywhere match, right? So they can at least brawl around the building a little bit, right? So Abdullah comes, he can like barely walk, he can barely stumble. He slowly makes his way. Lou, I don't know why, but he like bum rushes Abdullah, knocks him over, like almost like kind of accidentally, and then has to pretend to try to both pick him up and pummel him at the same time, which is very difficult because Abdullah can't get up on his own. He's like a turtle. So Lou is trying to like both pick him up and pretend like he's beating on him. Finally gets him back up. I mean, this whole thing goes like maybe 5 minutes total. Of course, it just, he like Abdullah like rakes the eyes, pulls out the fork, which is all he's got. He does the fork, eventually lays Lou on a table, goes through the fork again, but for a while, and I think he was just trying to catch his breath or like hold himself up, but he put his hand on top of Lou on his chest. So, but Lou was flat. So I just went 1, 2, 3, and I counted out the fucking match. Lou stayed down. He didn't kick out because I think he was picking up what I was throwing down. He's like, let's just end this fucking debacle like right now. You know what I mean? Crowd got to see him stab him with the fork. What else are you gonna get out of this thing? We didn't call any finishes anyway, so it was just like 1, 2, 3. This thing's over. Let's get the fuck out of here. And that was it.
Well, one of them said too. Abdullah would go on to wrestle 30 more times.
Yeah, this got to be one of them, the one I did, because it was in Orlando, so it had to be.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, you're 31. He had 30 more after you. You're 31, wow. Yeah.
Jeez. So, yeah, it was not good. Yeah, when Abdullah literally could barely move. So, look.
And he's still alive.
Yeah, he's still alive. Yeah, out of all the people, he's still around.
And,
yeah,
he outlived Hulk Hogan. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's fucking bizarre. Yeah, because he's really out of shape. Like he's really like
You'll never get to his last match. Will go down for Bull Buchanan. It's a random match.
That's fucking random. So, anyways, but there you go. We'll wrap it up here tonight for the Lonely Marks. So yeah, nice little trip down memory lane. Unfortunately, yeah, kind of tying in with some very unfortunate news as wrestling fans with Hogan. So we'll get Jacob's thoughts next week when he rejoins us on Hogan. Definitely give him a chance to chime in on that as well. And JPO will be a busy man next week because we got 2 nights of SummerSlam to predict. So yeah, we'll see what the card kind of finalizes over this next week. See what other stuff gets added last minute. I know a couple of things were added this week, so but yeah, we won't go too far into that because we'll break it all down next week. But yeah, the first time ever, JPO, 2 nights of SummerSlam, just like WrestleMania. Yeah. So we'll see how that works out.
I'm interested too in how SmackDown does for Hogan. I wonder if they'll do a little, or
I don't know, because they're pretty good about putting together video packages very quickly. You know what I mean?
I'm sure we'll have it. I can't imagine at least the opener, obviously, in a video package at the bare minimum. Yeah,
I would imagine they do something else on Raw also, just in case you don't see SmackDown, be on both. You know what I mean?
I would imagine they would probably do something a bit more because it's not just he's the biggest wrestler in history, so I imagine they'll probably do a bit more than usual.
I just know I know again he was off TV for a little bit and whatnot, and his last one didn't do good, and he is a bit of a not everyone wants to necessarily see him, so I just wonder if they wouldn't break him or not. I don't know. I just don't know.
No, yeah, he was a polarizing figure, but yeah, I don't know. I just feel like that. Yeah, but yeah. I don't know. I just feel like just a video package, just one video package wouldn't suffice. I think they'll probably just do that. They'll do more. I feel like they'll do more. Yeah.
So we'll wrap it up there for tonight. Yeah, we'll talk a lot of SummerSlam, get caught up on everything going on in WWE leading up to SummerSlam next week as we break down the cards and everything, and we'll make our official predictions. And yeah, hopefully Jacob will get us caught up on fantasy, because SummerSlam will be our last event for our fantasy rosters, yes, before we switch over to AEW. So we will be doing that as well. I don't know if we're going to be drafting next week or the week after. We'll talk about that maybe off the air, because technically we could, if we wanted to, also draft our rosters next week and then have the following, Dynamite be our first official, first show, you know what I mean? So we'll talk about it off the air. We could even work that in if we wanted to. So we'll then just get all that in advance. So we'll see. But JPL, you're a busy man over on your channels. What you got going on?
Yeah, hey, do you guys like wrestling? I think you do. Check out Pierce Wrestling. We just had the finals of our tournament over there. Michael Turner and Chris Cass. It was a great match. Back and forth. Figure out who won it, who won this year's tournament. They'll be facing Jacob Cameron pretty soon for the WWT World Title. Yeah, and then of course RPW as well. We've got our big anniversary event August 8th in Fort Myers with some great guests like Danhausen, amongst others, and then also on that YouTube channel too. We've been uploading some matches from our last event now too. So check out some really good ones. Sideshow versus Madman Fulton, Ryzen versus August Artois, with some really great matches last show. Our annual Rumble with Star Stack, that was fun. And then the Pierce Co. We got the tag team matches in the books. Now that tournament's getting back up and running here. So yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned to here. Stay tuned to all the good stuff coming.
Richie?
Yeah, in that, in JPO's mentioned, ASAT tag tournament with me and Stephen, the Good Shepherds. Yeah, so yeah, look for us to keep going with that. And yeah, Wheel of Movies next. Next week we did spin Prisoners, and yeah, we'll talk about. We'll definitely discuss a possible Hulk Hogan thing. But yeah, obviously, he was more known for wrestling than movies. So, but you know, there's two there that's like that could be up for discussion. But we'll let you guys know.
I don't know because I wrestle with that. I mean, he had an acting career, but like, was it a great acting career? Not really. You know what I mean? Most of his movies were not great. So, you know, the two best movies he was a part of, he was a very small part of, you know, Gremlins 2 and Rocky 3. So, you know what I mean? Like a pretty small role. So like, if you do one of his lead roles, I feels like it's disrespectful to be like, all right, let's talk Mr. Nanny or Suburban Commando, you know, or you know, where it's like,
yeah, because I don't want to like fully crap on it, but like then I'll be withholding my opinion. Because
or you know, if we talk Gremlins 2, it's like, okay, we talked the one, you know, half Hogan scene, you know, now we're just talking Gremlins 2, you know what I mean? So it's a little
I get your point. Yeah, so maybe look, and we just save it for more actors. But yeah, look, either way, we're doing Prisoners next week. So it should be all right. It's a very dark movie. I was like going, we can do that. But it was
I haven't seen it since the theater, so I need to rewatch it anyway. So I'm actually looking forward to that.
Yeah. Let's check that. Now I do have a match with Eric Moreno coming up with on I think multiplex or on the channel soon. And yeah, so check out for that. Why We Love Horror pop up on there. Sometimes long time, first time when JPO does it. So we're joking, JPO, that you don't have a show when the time you don't have a show is when I'm available. Like, go on.
The week we're like not doing Wheel of Movies is the one you take a week
shit. Yeah, it's Brennan's fault.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Let me know. We could have hosted it together. See, I know. So
no, hit us up. So anyways, as far as me, I'm mostly over on the Movie Hero Network, hosting or co-hosting, tournament fights, tier ranker, things like that. The Movie Hero Network Facebook group as well. And then it's funny. Malcolm hit me up for his show, Spear from the Past, because he wants to do something Hogan centric. So he asked me, what's one of the bigger kind of more famous matches, and I said, I mean, there's a lot of WrestleManias, whatever. I said, how about Hogan Warrior? So I'm gonna talk some more Warrior. Hogan Warrior.
I'm doing that show too, by the way. Yeah,
was that? Oh, okay. So we're all gonna do it. Cool. Get ready because there's 15 matches on that fucking WrestleMania.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I looked it up a week ago. I was like, oh my God. And granted, some of them are like 3 minutes long, some of them are like a minute and a half. It seems a lot like this show where there's like definitely shit that could probably be cut off that WrestleMania when you actually watch it. The longest match is the main event, but it's worth it when you get there because I remember that match being a pretty hell of a spectacle. So, and being good. So it's like prime Warrior, prime Hogan. To me, it's a match that got. When I've talked to even JPO, like when I've talked to like Florida indie guys or Georgia indie guys, like the matches that got people like into wrestling and inspired to want to be wrestlers, Hogan and Warrior is like one of those matches. Like I think that reference a lot. So
isn't Edge in the crowd? I'm pretty sure that was.
I think so. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there's a lot of people that like saw that match when they were kids and like made them want to be a wrestler. So I think it's kind of an appropriate one. For kind of both guys. So we'll do WrestleMania 6. So strap in for the 15 matches. That should be interesting. Match number 12 is blah blah blah. What'd you think of this one? I don't remember. It was 3 hours ago.
I feel like AEW. I mean, we just came off a 7-hour fucking show, so I'm all right. I can do it.
It's just gonna be like, okay, what did you think of this match number 13? I don't know, somewhere in there, I guess. It's just gonna be like trying to remember all these, but at least I don't have to make my massive notes for it. I'm just watching it and making a couple of brief notes on my note app. So we'll run that down. We'll have some fun with that then Monday, Richie, me and you and Malcolm.
Yeah.
So we'll talk Hogan Warrior WrestleMania 6. So that'll do it for tonight. So hopefully Jacob will be back next week as we run down SummerSlam, possibly do our AEW rosters. We'll talk about that offline if we want to do that. It'll be a fun show. We'll get back to business next week. So, we'll wrap it up there for tonight. So for JPO, for Richie Goodacre, I have been Austin Pez Hell. We'll see you guys next week on the Lonely Marks. Later.